we are live here again with real news, and we have a busy news week, busy news day actually, and I'm just gonna dive right into the coolest thing we have, which is not just a Supreme Court justice nomination, but Pluffy dictator Phil here went to the Trump Middleton, PA rally. It's your first rally. I don't think, Alex, you've been to any. I don't know about you, Donnie. I've been to a CPAC speech, but Phil, this is your first rally. Just unload on all the emotions, because I know you're feeling them.
Um, yeah, yeah, it felt like, um, you know how, you know how when you hear about other people talking about a Trump rally, that it's like a it's like a rock band event.
It's a rock
Like
concert.
it's a like it was exactly as advertised. Like we got there. So he didn't start talking until like close to 8. We got there at like 4. We thought we were gonna, be in a good position. Oh no, 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 no. We were already way back in line. By the time we got in there, it was like, I think we got in there at like, I want to say close to 5:30, 6-ish, something like that.
Jeez.
It took forever to get in there. And then we got in there and it was and we couldn't get a seat because it was like it was already packed. It was already, but the interesting part was like when they had the lines and we stood in them and we got to the front there. When we got to the front of these lines, there were folding chairs, there were coolers, there was even like blankets and like I think I saw a sleeping bag there too. Like it was legitimately like they were camping out for like you would think for like tickets to like a high priced rock band. Like it was incredible.
It's like a fucking Penn State game.
It was literally, yeah. I mean, it was so crazy.
Here's a,
Um,
by the way, I'll just jump in real quick. Trump just made this his banner on Twitter. It's a picture of the rally, and it's bigger than I even thought it was in the pictures I saw. Do you
yeah.
see yourself in here anywhere?
Oh,
Not to dox you.
I would have to be in the back. Like I would have had to be in the back. There's no way I would have been. I would be
Do they have
screaming.
numbers? Like how many people were actually able to attend?
It was packed. Like it was, I would say, in the thousands.
I know there were
It,
2,000 chairs, like folding chairs they had. You see some of them in the picture here. There were 2,000 of those. There's got to be at least like a couple hundred
there
people
was
in each of those stands.
at least double that was standing in the back. At least double that was standing in the back.
Jesus.
It was nuts. It was nuts. They had like they gave out waters. Like they gave out waters at the event, which was pretty cool.
That's
But
good.
the only refreshment they had when you got in, like when you got in and passed all the security and whatever, was the farm show milkshakes, which I freaking love anyway. But like they made a killing. They made a fucking killing at the event because there were lines. Like I waited over an hour to get a fucking milkshake. Like that was like,
Wow.
yeah, it was nuts. I mean, they're good. I mean, those farm show milkshakes are fantastic. But um like it was just nuts. It was insane. But
And you
and
got there
oh
when doors open, by the way, for people to understand. Like, Trump was scheduled to speak at 7, but doors open at
yeah,
4. And with these events, that means you need to get there well before 4. And Phil was
yeah,
like texting me, I think at like 2, like,
yeah.
and you were like, "Oh, should I go?" I'm
Like
like,
close to 3. Yeah,
"Yeah."
they were like, yeah. You were telling me, yeah, you need to
I was like,
seriously
"You gotta
get
go
there.
now."
Yeah, like, and so yeah, so we went, and it was like, it was just insane. There were like the I was breathtaking. I was stunned at the amount of folding chairs that were in the front of the lines, and they just left them there. They were just like, whatever. And there were just rows of folding chairs. Like, it was crazy. It was just crazy.
And those were the people waiting in line. You're saying their chairs.
Those were the people waiting in line,
Holy
and it was
shit.
rows.
And those weren't provided, right? Those were their own.
No, that was their own.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It was nuts.
I see
was
some of the
so nuts.
standing photos now, because I had 2 of my volunteers that were at this rally, at least. And yeah, I see some of the standing section now. Maybe you're in this picture, but like...
No, we were, yeah.
Oh my God,
we
go far back. Holy
we were behind. We were behind even that, I think. Wait a minute. I'm trying to...
Dude, look how far back it goes into the hangar.
It went into the hangar.
Oh my
It went into the hangar. Yeah. It was insane. Literally. Like, because the chairs didn't even, like, the chairs were completely engulfed by people. Like, there were people even like, and they were trying to get security to keep people from hanging out around the chaired areas, right?
Yeah.
And there was no way. Like, you couldn't hold all those fucking people. Like, you couldn't hold back all those people. Like, it was so many people, and there was even more behind these guys too. Like, there was even more. Like, it was so insane.
God, I want to go to one so badly. Oh man, I think the one I'm probably gonna be able to go to is, remember how in 2016 he did like a victory tour after he won? I assume he's gonna do one after he wins again. That's probably gonna be the only one I'll be allowed to go to.
Yeah.
And you guys know what I mean by that, but dude, like, again, what I see with Trump is massive crowds, high energy, love fest, enthusiasm. You don't see this shit with Biden. You don't see this shit with Hillary. It is night and day difference. I mean, and I don't know about you, Phil, but like, when Trump does come out and speak, it's like surreal. The energy's insane. People are shouting shit and like having a great time, laughing. Like, every joke you feel. It's like one thing to see on TV, because sometimes some of his jokes, I'm not saying they don't feel like jokes, but like, you kind of like have to like, you know, really sort of like have in tune with your sense of humor to pick it up. But when you're there, like, you know what's a joke, you know what's, you know, funny. Like, there's like no question. And then the media will spin it, and when you're there, you're like, are you kidding me? That was clearly a joke. And it's just a love fest. Like, I know he says that a lot, but like, it legitimately is what I know too, is that it's such a love fest.
We call it like a conservative Woodstock.
Yes.
Yeah. It's, I'll say a couple points. One, so when we got there, obviously we were standing, and the screen, which was like, they had a screen which is right about where that picture was taken on Trump's Twitter page. The screen had played the Fox News coverage of Amy Barrett's nomination, and the place went nuts. Like, the place just went nuts. Like,
oh my God, it's amazing.
You could tell. Like, look, you tell this chick that they like. She's a popular one.
She is, yeah.
Who is that Amy Barrett person?
Yeah. So, well, we'll dig into a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other thing to unpack.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought too be so cool, is that I knew, like, when I saw doors open at 4, he was gonna announce it at 5. I thought all these people are gonna be together seeing that live. That's gonna be so cool.
Yeah, it was nuts. Like, the place went crazy. And that was awesome to see. Like, before, like, Trump hasn't even showed up yet, and he's already like. And then I was thinking, in my head, I was thinking, holy God, this Trump guy has a lot of energy. To be at a nomination in the White House, and then fly to Pennsylvania to do his thing, and then fly. Like I'm like, what? Man, this guy has it. I don't have that much energy, and he's got like, I gotta say, he's got at least 30 years on me. Like, I'm like, this is incredible. Let's see. The other thing I wanted to say about the event was, I would have killed for those seats. Anyway,
You can see the screen too.
I would have killed another man and ate his. I would have killed another man and ate his brains for those fucking seats.
Oh,
like,
I
you
know.
got to understand, like, how bad. Like, you were standing there for hours. Like, I mean, and if I wasn't so psyched to see Trump, I probably would have been pissed. But the fact that like just Trump just brings it out, like, just the energy there, it's enough to like make you'll run through walls for the, like, you just run through walls just to see this dude. But it's just the energy. It's just so much. Even when he pulls out, when Air Force One landed,
my
it
God,
was like
this has been
the play.
awesome.
That's crazy. It was so crazy. Anyway, I know I'm digressing here. Sorry. So there was a lot of chants of CNN sucks.
I saw that part. Yeah.
A lot of those. And it was bad enough to the point where I started feeling bad about the one CNN reporter that was there. Like, literally, I hate CNN with an enraged passion, right? However, after seeing some of the stuff that was said to the CNN reporter, I was like, wow, okay. I kind of feel bad, you know. Of course it went away, but you know, like, it was so insane. Like, and of course when he was talking about, oh, there's the fake news media, and everybody just like, and the boos were just crazy. And you know, when and it was raining too, so like, well, it wasn't really raining heavy, it was like a light drizzle, but like, you know, like, you know, when people are willing to stand in the rain and get wet just to boo you, you know you're bad. You know you're bad. Like, just and to boo loudly too. Like, it was allowed. Like, it was just such a unique experience. I was totally taken back.
It's magical, isn't it?
It really is. It's something else.
And that's where I mean, I sound just like you after that. I saw him at CPAC. Like, I was like a little kid, like all excited, like I saw Santa Claus or something. It's like, it is so hard to put into words. Like, you can only describe it so much, but you just have to go to one. I mean, when my girlfriend and I saw him at CPAC, she likes Trump, and she's gonna vote for him. But like, she's not like a fucking like has like 8 hats and 10 posters like I do. You know, she just sees it as like, oh, good president, I'm gonna vote for. She came out of that speech like excited and like Google, like you know, big eyed, and like, you know what I mean, like just like so taken aback and like wowed by it. He has such a magical ability to connect with people, energize people, excite people, and just make people happy. I just have never seen it before. It's unreal. I mean, just look at all these people that come out seeing him.
I gotta say, I did share a little bit of my humor with some of the people that were there.
Yeah.
I know some of you. I know some of you are saying, "Oh, does Fluffy Phil even have any humor?" Like, no. I did. There was somebody that was dressed up like Santa Claus.
Oh my God! Yes.
And so there was a young teenager that said, "Oh, he looks like Bernie Sanders." I was like, well, you know, with Bernie Sanders, it's a little bit different because
he takes.
It depends. Yeah, no, it depends on how much, like, who you are. So, for example, if you're in the top 1%, he's gonna start taking presents from under the tree. Like, and they got a fairly kick out of that. Yeah. You know, and I mean, it's just like everybody got along. Oh, by the
Yeah.
way, another thing. I know I'm just shooting out random. I want to say random points, but just points that are kind of all over the place. So I'm trying to see. Wait,
This might be where you were. This was technically the overflow crowd.
wait. Let me see if I was back there. I don't see me. I'm probably no. I was behind because that's where the media was at, and I was behind a little bit.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, if this was an indoor one, you would not have gotten in.
No, definitely would not have gotten in.
I just hope you didn't get COVID.
Probably. Oh, I mean, you know, it's who knows. Anyway,
Get a free vacation from work.
yeah, they'll probably fire me. They're like, "Oh, you went to a Trump event? You're fired."
Yeah, you piece of shit, racist.
You racist, homophobe, sexist.
You know what?
Shit.
You know, speaking of that, though, what they're actually doing with the staffers that were there, that were working this rally, the ones I know, they have to quarantine 2 days before this and then 2 days after. And I know somebody that is also going to the Mike Pence debate watch party, which is in Lancaster. And so since they're kind of back to back, basically, his 2 days of quarantine ends. And then the next day's the Mike Pence one. Then he's got 2 more days of quarantine after that. So he literally has a week missing in action. It's crazy. But yeah. Oh, and here's, by the way, here's that video of the line that you were talking about where people were lining up. People basically lined up in the parking lot, and then they had these vendors around it, which, you know, is always interesting too, to see all that stuff. But it's like you said, like everybody gets along. Again, Love Fest is the best way to describe it. Everybody's just happy to be together. I'm just like getting like the feels just thinking about it and hearing you say, because I know exactly what you're describing. I know it so well. It's memorable.
And so the shitty press is going to tell you, and some of these, like, you know, these unfunny late night comedians tend to tell you that, like, oh, these Trump rallies are just a bunch of white racist men or whatever. Let me tell you, like, being there, it was incredibly diverse. I saw a lot of women that were there. I saw African Americans. I saw Latinos. I saw a huge sign that said Pacific Islanders love Trump.
Yes.
Right? Huge sign. And there were Asians. They were giving out stuff. They were giving out masks. They were giving out, like, there was so many people of all diverse backgrounds that were at this event. I was like, oh, stereotype busted. Okay, there you go. And that felt good too. I was just like, wow, this was just so much. It was just so much to take in, and I was just stunned, and I felt so good. It was wow.
I'm glad you mentioned the thing about the women, because Ronna McDaniel's on Fox tonight, the RNC chairwoman, and she said that they surveyed the people attending it, and 50% of the people at that rally were women. That's fucking gender equality.
Yeah. That's that. If you telling me that sounds accurate to me. Like, I'm like, look, there's just as many women as there were men. Like that.
Here's the thing. I bet if fucking Joe Biden had a rally, he'd probably have even less women because they'd be afraid that he'd rape them.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome about that, because honestly, like the group that I co-lead, like, we were starting to have a higher women ratio than men. Then when we first started, it was like 7 men, and then the rest are now it's like very even, or women, just more women than men.
Yeah, and I can tell you too, from my limited experience door knocking, I actually crossed 7,000 doors today, I think. even from that, I can't tell you how many women I've talked to that are pro-Trump. It might even outnumber the men, and that just might be because these are stay-at-home moms or something like that. But like the whole,
And that's another thing. Good thing you brought that up, Sean. The idea that they were saying again with these, and I'm sorry I bring up these polls. Please forgive me, but there's like, oh, Biden's winning with stay at like what is it, stay at home moms or something like that, or it's the suburban white women or something like that.
right?
There were a lot of suburban white women at this event, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's a big part of his base.
I'm saying, like, look, I don't think whoever's taking these freaking polls is not like it's not accurate at all. I'm sorry. It's just not. Like, you go to this event and you see a whole different story compared to what they're telling you. Like, I just don't see it. I don't see how Trump loses Pennsylvania without there being some sort of foul play, which of course is not out of the realm of possibility.
And the other thing,
especially
too,
in Pennsylvania, where now they didn't they move the ballot, like where they could count ballots up to like 9 days after the election or something something weird
with that. I mean, okay, I'm gonna explain that bit because it makes sense in a lot of ways. That doesn't mean there's no room being open for fraud, but they extended the time that they could count ballots till 3 days after the election. I don't know if that number has changed. When I last checked, it was 3 days. Now, the reason for that is because if you send your ballot in, let's say on Halloween, and it doesn't get there till November 5th, the 5th of November, in my opinion, your vote should still be counted because that's not your fault. You mailed it on time, arguably. Well, to be honest, I would always do it sooner rather than later, but that's me. But you still mailed it before the deadline. The deadline was the 3rd, that it would have to arrive at your county board of elections. Now, the problem is that there's going to be a lot of mail. I mean, even though in my guesstimates less than 30% of people are actually going to do mail-in, it's still a shit ton more than absentee has ever been like. So you have a shit ton of mail, and the mail is reduced staff, it's cut back, it's really slow, all that jazz. I get why they did that, as long as, and this is supposed to be what they're keeping, they're keeping it the rule that it has to be postmarked before election day. If that's the case, I think this is fine.
So when the heck are we gonna know who's the president? That's
you're not gonna know for weeks, dude. Like, actually, let me say it this way: they ramped up staff. If everything goes semi-smoothly, there's gonna be fuck-ups. But like, if it's basically smooth, we'll know in a week, by the end of the following week. If it's not smooth, and if Trump, even after all that, there's like a few key swing states where he's neck and neck in, it's going to be a couple weeks, if not more. If he wins a lot of states on election night, which he will, it's going to be a landslide. And even after they count the mail-ins a week, and maybe there's just a few states remaining and it's still a landslide, we'll know. That's what I think. That's what when I've talked to people within the campaign about it, it's kind of where we're at. And PA is not that bad, by the way. It's other states that are really bad, like New Jersey and Nevada is getting bad. And I worry about Virginia, because Virginia, dude, had big crowds like this shit. Virginia's in play. I initially was like, dude, Virginia's lost. I even had blue on my map. Now I'm questioning it.
They're saying Virginia is in play. Like, I
think it is in play. I don't think he will win it. Yeah, I'm not going to say for certain if he's going to win or not. I currently don't think he is going to win it, but ooh, I could change my mind. But the other thing I was going to mention too was that I don't want to forget this. Ronald McDaniel also said when they surveyed people coming into the rally that 15% had not voted before. They didn't vote for Trump last time. They're now voting for him. I think around that percentage were Democrats too, not of the ones that didn't vote for, but they're just people in attendance were Democrats. And I think the takeaway from this is something I was thinking about actually when door knocking this week, which is that because I talked to quite a few people that were Democrats or that didn't vote for, they're voting for Trump, and what it's telling me, and I know this has kind of been said before, but I think it hasn't been emphasized enough, and it's something that we really need to think about when we're getting people after Trump to run, is that what you're seeing happening, especially what started in 2016. 2016 was a revolution. Like, we all know, we all loved it. It was a revolution of anti-establishment, working class, nationalist, populist America. But what did that do? It made a total realignment of our political climate. And I can't put it any way else. It is a realignment. It is not Democrat versus Republican anymore. It's not, oh, we're kind of the same, but we disagree on these few things, or Republicans are more about, more strict constitutionalism, and Democrats more loose. No. This is all gone. I mean, what you're seeing in these crowds are not really Republicans and not really conservatives. It's working class, populist Americans that are saying fuck you to the system, and we're changing it, and we're not going to stop. And that's the key thing, is that after Trump, this needs to keep going. And that's what I think is what is so critical now, is the realignment we're seeing is the outsiders. It's outsiders and anti-establishment versus insiders. This fight is not going to stop, and this mindset is not going to stop. I mean, before 2016, how many people were talking about lobbyists? How many people were talking about getting rid of special interests? How many people were talking about draining the swamp? That wasn't even a phrase. The realignment that you're seeing is amazing, because like you even said, Phil, like a lot of people there were Democrats, there were Latinos, African Americans, like every minority you could think of. Republicans really weren't doing that before. And I even talked to a guy today that was an immigrant from Spain that's voting for Trump. I mean, you're getting people from every demographic you can think of voting for Trump, and it's increasing. And that's why that's where the thing hit me, is that this is just such a realignment. It's unbelievable. And again, it sounds like a simple, obvious point, but when you really dive into it and you really look at what's going on, there is just a complete realignment happening. Like, this is really unprecedented. I know we said this in 2016, but it's the fact that this has become a big movement, and you're getting candidates for Congress and for the Senate that are framing themselves this way too. It's a beautiful thing.
Hey, Jason said down in the chat, I went to the Trump rally here in Dallas last year, waited in the AAA line, which is American Airlines Center, since 5 a.m. And there were already 2,000 people there.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And you look, and keep in mind, like, Harrisburg is not that big of a city.
No, it's
not. When you look at the grand scheme, of U.S. cities, like, it's not that big. It's not that big at all.
Well, and I think a lot of,
like, there's way bigger cities than PA. It's fucking tiny. The only thing it's not being the capital and for the farm show.
Well, I will tell you, there may be a lot of reasons for this, and it may be anecdotal, but when I was knocking in one neighborhood today, I was knocking at like 11:30 noon, and nobody was fucking home. It was door after door after door. I might have talked to 2 people, and I knocked 100 doors. I'm like, no, this isn't a coincidence. I only had this on Labor Day weekend, and that's because everybody was gone for Labor Day weekend. Where the fuck is everyone now? They were at the freaking Trump rally. And I knocked on another neighborhood, And the only reason those people were home, I believe, was because they were all old people. But then a lot not homes too, and it's a Saturday. Saturdays are when everybody's home, and that's why we're knocking. But dude, nobody was home. Nobody.
Yeah.
It was so weird. I'm like, are they all at the rally?
I think part of it is like, well, I think part of it is more of, you know, they say that, you know, sunlight is the best disinfectant. Democrats have embraced socialism. They really have. They've embraced this hard socialism that's gone to damn near full communism. Like they've embraced these ideas that are socialist communist, and like it's going even against the majority of their own party. Like so they've completely become this fringe, scary, like I don't want to say minority, but it's like you've abandoned the center. Like you've just abandoned the center, and like they're not about that. Like these people aren't about that. Like they're not about the squad going past it, trying to throw crazy socialist shit at us. Like no, these are, most Americans are just good, hardworking people that are trying to make a living, trying to make their lives better, their families' lives better. They're trying to, they're just trying to, do whatever works to make their lives better. And like this socialism, they know, like these people aren't stupid. They know that socialism is a failed fucking ideology. Like there's a reason it doesn't work. Like the only place it works isn't the only place it works in is China, where they have more slaves than we have people in this country, right? And like I wonder, does that have a long-lasting damaging effect? I for the Democrats. That's my thing, because I don't know how you, if you're a Democrat, I don't know how you get the people in the center back.
Is this the Santa Claus dude you saw?
No.
Oh, so there were multiple Santas.
There was actually, there must have been like two different Santas.
Oh, dude, no way! One of the Collegian reporters that report on the Sargon event we did, she was at the rally.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that person interesting things to say, didn't they?
No, she's actually good. She's actually good. She's one of the good people at the Collegian.
Okay.
But yeah, she was there at the rally, I guess, for the report for the Collegian. But dude, oh, and also I love how, because I was playing one of the videos, I love his playlist, by the way, at the rallies. He was playing Saturdays All Right for Fighting by Elton John, or whatever. Saturday Nights for Fighting. I fucked up that title. Kill me for that. But yeah, that's appropriate since it was a Saturday.
Yeah.
That's great. God, Trump Rise is the best.
It was just, and it was cool to see Air Force One. It was cool to see Air Force One touchdown, and like I was like, wow, this is like, I actually get to see this. I did see it a couple of times while I was in the military, but to see it like at a rally, it was incredible. It was just something just crazy.
Also, is he now using YMCA to end all his rallies now instead of the Stones song?
We've heard it quite a few songs. Yeah. Well, he can't. He can't play. I don't think he can play the Rolling Stones song, because I think the label bitched about it.
Oh,
band / label bitched about it. So,
but haven't they bitched before about it? Did they actually like do something now so that he wouldn't play You Can't Always Get What You Want anymore?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they kind of did that with because at during the 2016 campaign, Adele did the same thing.
Yeah, because he played Rolling in the Deep.
Yeah. So I don't. There's nothing. I mean, honestly, if he wants to play somebody's music, there's really not much that the artist can do about it. But it's the drama. I think it's just the drama. It's like, oh, you don't want us to play your music? Whatever.
I hate when they do that too. And like, I love a lot of these artists that he plays. I hate the idea of like when they bitch about you using their songs at your route. It's like, dude, like people, and then look, they're scanning people's temperature. By the way, people that say, oh, people weren't being safe, everybody's temperature is getting
they
scanned.
were scanned. Look, at the event they were scanning people's temperature. They had masks there. They were taking pretty much every safety precaution they could. Like this is there's definitely like that the social distancing and all. Well, the COVID precaution thing, that was an outright lie. They took their measures.
And that pisses me off too, that they keep lying about that, because like when they do like these White House events too,
Dude,
they
they're gonna do that.
Yeah,
they're gonna do that, Sean.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, true. They always lie about 'em. I mean, like I had one of my coworkers was at a fundraiser that Pence spoke at, and he was tested when he got there. Like they did like a hour test or whatever it was.
Yeah.
You get back an hour. It's like these people don't get like what they're really doing. And I think if I were the White House and the campaign, I would bring these things up more, even though it might not matter. But I don't really hear them mentioning it much. But it's like I wouldn't have known that if my coworkers hadn't been there.
Yeah, I mean, you're not. They're trying to sell a bullshit narrative. They've been trying to sell this bullshit narrative for God knows how long.
Yeah,
and it's like, and I like everybody. All these news outlets just keep continuing to play it. It's just it's like people are smart again. People aren't stupid. People are smarting up. And like they're starting to realize it. This is part why. Like, look, there's a reason why Tucker Carlson's ratings are going through the fucking roof, right?
He's beating the Lakers.
He's beating the NBA playoff, which really isn't saying much because the NBA playoffs are turned into absolute shit. But yeah, I mean, people get it. People aren't idiots. Like they're seeing what's going on. Hold on, I'm gonna go get a Red Bull here.
All right, refuel. But yeah, I think it's crazy that collegiate probably knows that. That's cool. Oh man. I mean, that's the thing that's gonna be wild. Is like down the road when you like bump into Penn stairs at random shit. Like I didn't tell you guys this, or maybe I did, Alex. But you know our wolf, no pun intended, in sheep's clothing. You know who I'm talking about? Back in 2016.
Yeah.
Woody.
Yep, I know who you're talking about.
I was on one of these calls for work, and somebody mentioned, oh, my NTL, let's call him Woofy. Woofy knocked 100 doors for me. I'm like, oh, did he? I don't know if it was doors. Oh, no, it was voter registration. They were like, he got 100 people registered to vote. I'm like, oh, did he? An NTL. And an NTL is basically, by the way, it's a volunteer that is like a super volunteer that like basically does my job, but for free. They volunteer to do my job.
Wait. So Woody isn't even getting paid.
That's right.
Woody has a degree in. I mean, I'm glad he's not getting paid from the RNC. Yeah, the DNC I could understand.
I could see the DNC paying him.
But I mean, well, this is we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Like political science really is. It's outdated. That shit used to work back decades ago. But the game has changed so much.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the stuff that they teach. I mean, I guess it's good for historical perspective, maybe, but like for actual modern application in politics, it's terrible. It's terrible stuff.
And that goes back to what I was just saying earlier about the realignment that's happening. It's like the rules are changing, everything's different now, and these people don't adapt. And it's like, I feel like we have, like, not just us, but like people in the movement in general, but like us specifically, like we have an edge in this because we get it. We're normal people. We're in tune with this shit. We're not like poli-sci majors that suck dick to get all the way up the ladders of these major parties. Like, we get what's going on. We call bullshit when we see it, and we are legit. And it's like, I'm not trying to toot our own horn here, but I'm just trying to tell people, like, the difference between these sort of people. Like, it is very apparent.
If you're a poli-sci major, you probably shouldn't, like, if you want to be a poli-sci major, you probably shouldn't fucking be a poli-sci major. It's one of those things.
For me, it's like, I don't think that, I think it's like, I think it might have the same quality and career outlook as like sociology, because like, look, you're not, you like, I guess if you work for a campaign and you're high up in a campaign, you might make a little bit of money. For the most part, you're not getting paid shit. Like, I mean, you're not getting paid shit. That's like a sociology major. Like, look, you're going, like, look, you have a PhD in sociology and you're making 60 grand a year. That's just terrible. You know, just give up. Like, just give up. I'm sorry. Like, well, you're telling me, like, you know how much a PhD costs in college? Like, especially like from our school at Penn State. Like, you know how fucking like that PhD will run you about a good fucking $500,000 easy. Like, you're trying to you're basically going to be $500,000 in debt with no realistic way of paying that shit back. And you're to get a $60,000 a year job, you're just done. You're done. Your life is over.
To address the chat here, Frank is right. The middle wants nothing to do with socialism. Very true. Centrists are turned off by extremes. Jason says, there's no way Biden is ahead. Agree 100%. I wasn't alive during JFK, but I would guess that Trump was more popular than he was. I bet... I wasn't alive during JFK either, obviously, but I'm not sure. I think in some ways Trump is more popular, but maybe not. I don't know. I'd have to check the electoral map actually on that.
I think there's a lot of I was talking to a couple people about this too.
Parallels.
There were a lot. There are definitely a lot of parallels between him and JFK in terms of.
Don't say that, man. You don't want to get shot.
No, I'm saying in terms of, like, I'm not saying. Like,
well, there have been assassination attempts against Trump, so yeah.
Well, yeah, but
they weren't successful, and he wasn't in an open car, and he hasn't started shit with the mob.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, in 2020, if I will say this, if it happens in 2020, it's an inside job. That's how good the Secret Service are. The Secret Service are phenomenal.
There were a lot there tonight.
Phenomenal. I mean, you could, like, really, he's the most protected man in all of the world. Yeah, like if an assassination were to actually be successful, it would definitely be an inside job. Mark it, okay? That is
Jeb Bush.
that is my prediction. That is my prediction. If it were to ever happen, it would be an inside job. Count on.
Wait, so you think Jeb would be the one pulling the strings to, like, finally reclaim what is his?
Jeb doesn't have that much. He doesn't have that much juice. He's an outcast to even his own family. What are you talking about?
Maybe that's enough. Maybe he goes and, like, hires someone with all his, like, let's say, George W. dies, and then he inherits some money. He's like, oh, this Trump guy, he cucked me of the presidency. Oh, I hate this guy. I could see Jeb trying to go and pull a hit on Trump. It'd probably fail pretty spectacularly. He'd probably pay
I'd be like, he'd be the guy. Okay, Jeb Bush, because he's such a dork. He would probably be the guy. He would be the dumbass that would post a Craigslist ad. Like,
he probably would.
Like looking to assassinate current president. Please call. Great deal. Click.
Actually, to mention Jeb, I want to say something too. Think of the moment we're in right now. Just think about it. Just stop everything and think. What's going on in the world? We have Donald Trump as president hosting a massive rally in Pennsylvania with a political movement revolution happening. And we're appointing a conservative to the Supreme Court after already appointing 2 more. Where would we be right now? Imagine where we would be right now if Trump didn't run. If the principal conservatives had their way, if the Ben Shapiros and the Mitt Romneys and the John McCains and the Lincoln Project had their way, who would we have well, first of all, who would we have running? We'd have Jeb fucking Bush as our front runner and face of the party, going up against Hillary Clinton. Who do you think would win that? It'd be Hillary fucking Clinton.
Let's see. Yeah, last time we had a Bush versus Clinton, I think Clinton won.
And so where would we be now? We wouldn't be in Trump's America, as the left loves to say. We'd be in Hillary Clinton's America, and we'd have 3 leftists, far left radicals on the Supreme Court, and we wouldn't have a wall, wouldn't have renegotiated China. There would be no USMCA. There would be no healthcare improvements. There would be no, I'm trying to think of the VA reforms. There would be no tax cuts. There would be no Space Force. There would be no NASA missions back to the moon. There would be no missions to Mars. There'd be none of this stuff. There would be no troops being pulled out of Iraq and Syria and Afghanistan. There would be no Soleimani dead. There'd be none of that. But hey, we aren't principled conservatives, guys. We are fringe radicals in a cult, worshiping a narcissist. Just remember that.
Yeah. See, I could see who would be in place. Because I don't think Jeb would actually win. I think he'd run still.
Ted Cruz?
No, he wouldn't actually. I don't think
he wouldn't have won the general. No way.
I don't think anybody. I don't think any of the current the 2016 batch would have beaten Hillary Clinton, and that's because it's like they're not. I mean, clearly Donald Trump was clearly head and shoulders above, like just clearly head and shoulders above the rest. Like, I mean, just so clear. And the problem was like you look at it, right? There were first off, there were what, 17 candidates or something like that, total candidates in 2016. All of them had more. They had more political connections. They had more. They likely had more favorability with the media. Like nobody took Donald Trump as a serious candidate as far as the media was concerned. And here Donald Trump came and beat all the odds, beat all of them. I just if Donald Trump, God, we'd be so fucked. Good God, we'd have been fucked if we would have had one of those other 16. I mean, there's some good people. There's some good people that were running, but they're not president worthy people. Like, they're good people, but not like
if we had Ted Cruz, I could live with that. But if we had
but see, you're saying that you just said that, you just said live with it, right? That's
there's some things I did like about Jeb Bush that I was, not Jeb Bush. Fuck him. There's no redeemable factor.
No redeemable.
There's some things at least he was very strong pro-2A, but the chances are it would have been a lot closer if there was a for the general election. I think more realistically, who was that guy from Ohio, like John Kasich, I think?
Oh my God.
We'd probably get someone like him, and he's just such a fucking wishy-washy piece of shit, like Democrat wannabe. Like, that's who we'd probably end up getting. So I don't think Jeb would get the nomination. I think it'd be like a John Kasich or something.
Fucking rhino. God. I just and we saw it. And I think one of the best things about Donald Trump running in 2016 was we got to see a lot of the sludge within the Republican Party as well as the Democrat. Like we knew that the Democrat Party was full of sludge, but like Donald Trump, he shined a light on a lot of the sludge that was in the Republican Party too, which everybody knew that there was sludge in the Republican Party. But a lot of people probably didn't realize that there was that much of it.
Yeah, no, it's like my first real time of speaking like politically with a bunch of other conservatives, it was like the college Republicans. And I thought, oh, these people be really cool and stuff. And then it's like, oh, these people are really, mostly just elitists and globalists and all this other bullshit. It's like, that was what Trump did, but on like the global scale, he showed, their fucking trap cards. You took a look at their hand.
Yeah.
And you saw that sort of just clicky bullshit. Same thing. So it's just, CRs, but with people who actually get paid for instead of, pay to go suck each other's cocks.
Mm-hmm. It was just like, it was incredible. Like for me, like the one thing that I liked, there was a Republican debate. Well, actually all of them were funny, but the one where Donald Trump said something, and I think that he was booed by a couple of people in the front, and Donald Trump immediately got, you see those people that are booing out in the front, those are special interests, those are lobbyists, right? We tried to get some of the other people in the back. They would try to get them up front, but all these seats were owned by special interests and lobby groups. And it was like, you never heard anything like that.
I loved it too.
Yeah, that's the fucking...
You never heard anything like that, and it was so refreshing. Like, that right there got me on board. I'm like, I like this guy. And because of course, when you see somebody like Donald Trump, and he's like the first thing in the back of your mind, you're like, all right, he's a reality star, is it really serious? No, as soon as he went up front and busted up all these people, I'm like, I'm good. I like that guy.
Were you a day one supporter?
I honestly wasn't into For me, I was like, all politicians are full of shit. But
Same.
Donald Trump was the one guy I was like, okay, I think I could get behind that guy. And sure enough, like, it just kept going. And then he started making fun of Jeb Bush. That was hilarious. Like, he was saying to Jeb Bush something like, you know what? I can't hear you. You're all the way over there. And you know what? With all these these poll ratings, like, look, you're getting less and less, and they're moving you further and further away from me. Like, soon you're probably going to be off of the stage altogether. I'm like,
oh yeah, I remember that one. He's like, his poll numbers are dropping so much. He's moving further down the stage. Soon enough, he's going to be off the stage.
He's right. Like, yeah. See, that's the thing. Trump made politics entertaining.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, beforehand, like, I'd be interested in politics, but I wouldn't be like, oh, this is like fucking, funny. Saturday Night Live. You know, it was like, oh, this is politics. This is like a bunch of people in suits, bunch of elitists talking about shit that no one cares about, sucking each other's dicks, giving each other's hand jobs.
He was also, there was another period. He during the primary debates where he,
is it the Rosie O'Donnell line?
Well, I mean,
that's a classic one.
That was funny too. But he was like, he had said, I gave money to your campaign. I gave money to your campaign. I gave money. And he's like, look, and he was talking about, there's so much dirty stuff going on in DC. And I think, was it Anderson Cooper that asked, well, what do you mean? What kind of dirty stuff? And then he just went and said, oh, I gave the Clintons a certain amount of money. And then I told them I demanded that they come to my wedding, right? Yeah. And they were at my wedding. I'm like, it was just incredible. Like, what you, like, you.
And also consider that that's something, normally, like, that's something that would be a trap for any other candidate. Oh, you say you you don't want lobbyists, but you were the biggest lobbyist. It'd be like, oh, you're the hypocrite. Nobody thinks that of him. He totally handles it by embracing it and saying, look, I know what the problem is. I donate to people. I see what goes on. And it's like, he comes from a place of authenticity and honesty, and that's why people love it. Like, I remember people were telling me, like, early in the campaign, like, when he was starting, they're like, you heard the same shit, like, he's not serious. You know, he used to be a Democrat. I really don't know if he's going to keep his promises. I never thought for a second he wasn't going to keep his promises. And look, I don't even have a legit reason. I just felt he was for real. That's all it was. I'm like, this guy's for real. He's going to keep these promises. Like, I didn't question it. And on top of that, you know, one of the other, oh, shit, I'm losing my point now. It was something about, oh yeah, like when you see all these people come to these rallies too, I remember people saying, oh, I mean, he's getting big rallies, but are they gonna vote? I don't know. And I'm like, you fucking idiot. These people are sitting out in the rain for hours to see this guy speak. Thousands of people are sitting out in the rain for hours to see this guy speak. And you don't think they're gonna vote? You kidding me? And like Alex said, Trump made politics fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's because he's just a fun, interesting guy. And, you know, and also, yeah, he does do reality TV, and that's sort of the skills he brings to this. They're unique and makes it interesting. But he is just a character. He's just a naturally funny guy, naturally interesting, fun guy. So it comes with that, and that's what people love about it. But, you know,
he knows that I feel like the reality TV built up his like helped build his poker face. Like he really, like, because you know, like he comes from a place of authenticity, and you know, people look at him and look at his authenticity, and they mistake it for like stupidity or something. Like
yeah.
there's like that weird mistaken identity. But that comes from that I think part of that comes from reality TV too. Like, because look, how many like how many reality TV stars have we often like looked at and we're like, oh my god, they're fucking dumbasses. I think of Jessica Simpson, right? Like she had her reality TV show. Like, oh, I can't believe how stupid she is. Really, she's worth $850 million, and she's getting paid to look stupid in front of a camera. Some of you assholes out there are looking stupid for free. Okay, you like, look, these people are like, if you think these people are stupid, they have you exactly where they want you. Look at the Kardashians, right? You look how much money they're fucking making off of this reality TV, and to look what people call stupid in front of a camera. Like Donald Trump lived in that sort of environment, right? Where people think you're stupid. Like, no, this dude graduated from an Ivy League college. He ran billions of dollars of real estate investing. Like you just, are you kidding me? Like, this dude legit knows his shit. Like, you and you think he's stupid? Boy, are you out of touch with reality. Like, I feel like, I also feel like one of his talking points, by the way, was debt reduction. I think he's going to do it like this next election. Once he wins, he's going to do some real Donald Trump type shit to fucking cross off some of this debt.
Well, yeah, that's the thing too. It's like with that particular parts, and people blame for all this coronavirus stuff. Like, you know, he was given a pretty shitty hand. Like,
yeah,
you know, nothing Donald Trump did could have stopped the fucking coronavirus. It's gonna happen whether you had Donald Trump, whether you had Jeb Bush, whether you had like fucking Hillary Clinton as president.
No, he did a great job. Nobody else is really going to say he did a great job. He did a great job. Like, look, and then they're like, well, why didn't he have the system in place? He literally called it Operation Warp Speed. He helped pave the way for a number of record-setting vaccine developments, like multiple. We're not talking just like one. Like some of these people just had one had one company. Whenever there was like an outbreak of some kind, they'd give a government contract to like one company or something like that. Donald Trump had it where he got rid of all the regulations and had multiple companies competing. That's the way you do it. How he did it is how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
and he like nobody, there's not a president out there that would have done what Donald Trump did. Like, and it's incredible. And to think we could have not only one vaccine, we would probably have a couple vaccines by the time he's reelected. Like, this is incredible. This is incredible stuff. When you look at it from its finite detail, and when you compare it to even other smaller outbreaks, it's incredible. And
I think that's a very understated point too, is that the idea of doing multiple vaccine trials with multiple people at once is the smartest and best way to do it. And I think that's the tricky thing for him and anybody in this situation, is that nobody really knows what a good handling of this looks like, and nobody else knows what a really I mean, you could have some ideas of what a bad handling of this looks like, but you really don't have like a objective. Like, okay, if this many people die, he handled it poorly. If this many people die, he handled it well. And either way, like, people are gonna die. So it's like, well, what does good necessarily look like, and what does bad necessarily look like? And I think for some people, it's like really hard to sort of like wrap that like idea around your brain.
But Donald Trump also gets it. But Donald Trump also gets it too, because like he knows that the platform is especially when it comes to the media and the image or whatever. He already knows they're in it to make him look bad regardless. So he's like, well, I might as well just do this shit my way, and to hell with whatever anybody else thinks. This is where he separates himself from some of the other presidents of the past. Like, I just like he does. There's no blueprint, obviously, for something like this, like some national pandemic or worldwide pandemic for something like this. But he has them.
To be fair, we did have one in like 1919 or 1918.
Yeah, we did.
I think we all remember how that turned out, right? No, no, I mean, I get it. Like we didn't know, we didn't know how to handle it, but again, Trump knew how to handle colossal shit, because he's handled colossal shit in the past with a lot of his real estate stuff. And I always argued that real estate is a very good translation for government. Like, I always felt like it, because you're negotiating deals short term, you're negotiating deals long term, you're negotiating contracting, right? You're negotiating management. There's time management, there's budget management, there's like all these things that you have to handle in real estate that you also have to handle with as far as the government goes as well. So I was like, and I looked at it even when he ran. I was like, well, if he's done this and all this same stuff in real estate, why can't he do it with the government? And we're seeing it. We really are seeing it with a lot of the stuff that he's been tackling, especially with like the deal negotiations. That's where you really see some of the expertise.
Yes.
Like, he's starting to, like, you really start to see where he's good at, where other people are failing.
Yeah, he had just another massive peace, like 2 in a row with Israel, the UAE, and then Israel and I'm forgetting the name of some of these countries already, but she's like, and he got nominated for a fucking like peace prize for it. And it's like, I think people need to step back and realize, like, you know, when he says like when you're tired of winning, you almost also get used to winning now. It's a weird thing, because it's like,
but I mean, I will say, look, and this is another thing too, I want to say I'm not going to give Trump all the credit in the world, but Trump gets a very good chunk of the credit. Like, look, those Israeli peace deals, the Israeli peace deals, a lot of that's on Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner did a pretty good job when it came to handling that stuff. But part of you being a president is having intelligent people around you and having a good brain trust around you to be able to make good decisions. Like, you're not going to be able to make good decisions. You're not going to be able to have the kind of brain power to be able to make the best decisions all the time. So you have to surround yourself with people that are smart enough to really help you make good decisions. It's like, and I look at the Jerusalem moving the Israel embassy to Jerusalem. Like, I was to not only make that happen, even though everybody said it couldn't happen, and some of these people didn't want it to happen, not only to make it happen, but to save more money than really any other embassy in years past. It's like, it's incredible. Like, it's incredible in layers. Like, it's not just incredible because we made it, they made it happen. It's incredible for multitude of reasons. Like, people said it couldn't happen. People didn't want it to happen. They're like, oh, well, we got to build an embassy building. And it's like, oh, well, they found property. They found, like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that just happens. It's just like, that they think about in multiple perspectives that no other president has really done. Either that, or they didn't want to, or maybe they just get a kick out of spending money. Like, it's like, and again, this is where Donald Trump gets it right too. He's incredible with some of the stuff that he negotiates, like even with saving money. Like, it's incredible. It's just, I don't know. Like, I get nervous or concerned after Trump leaves office. Like, are we ever going to get a president as great as Donald Trump? Like,
I don't think so, but I do think we're going to get people that are still good enough, as long as this populist wave continues. And that's why I keep bringing this up, because I think it's so important that continues. I will say also, it's a side note back to when we were discussing either at the beginning of the show or pre-show, that woman that was speaking, I do see her now. That's not the person I was either of us were thinking of. The person I work with. It was neither of the people I work with. I actually don't know who she is, but what was I gonna say? I think the other thing to go back to the idea of fun. I think that's one of the ways we can keep this movement going, is if we stay the fun side, it's going to be more attractive. If we stay the positive side, it's more attractive. Because I actually want to bring up something, of all people, Nicholas J. Fuentes said, that is very true. And, I mean, we've been critical of that guy on our show a lot here. And it's not like that we're saying he's like a bad person or anything. It's just I have some major disagreements about some of the things he says. But I do have to say, he says in his Telegram chat recently, I'm going to pull it up on the screen, and I always look at everything. Like people that watch like CNN, Fox, like everything in between. I look at everything to get see what everybody's saying. So I will even look at what he's saying. He says in his Telegram chat recently, I think it's very, very important point that I think more people need to recognize for any movement to really continue and flourish. He said, negativity is the poison for an insurgent political movement. We should be realistic about our chances of succeeding in what we're up against, but constant negativity only serves to demoralize. I see a tweet like this, and even though I like Patrick Hawley, this kind of attitude is poison. You will never win with this attitude no matter what. And the tweet in question reads, the America First movement really had no impact on the GOP after early 2017. The names the base say they want for president now: Haley, Grinnell, Pompeo, Crenshaw, Owens, Ivanka, Noem, just kind of shows that populist nationalism totally failed to infiltrate the GOP. Nick continues by saying, That was a tweet, just to clarify, it's the end of the tweet. Nick continues with, anybody who is in business will tell you, even Trump himself, that leaders of a team have to be cheerleaders. It may even be one of the most important functions of the team. And again, that doesn't mean ignoring our challenges, internal or external. It simply means that a defeatist mentality creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. We have to signal excitement, energy, not despair. Patrick says, we are total failures because of one dubious observation about presidential politics. What's the point of saying that? Guess you better just quit and go do something else with your life. I'd prefer to look at Trump's re-embrace of populism, the historic rise of Tucker Carlson, new projects like Revolver News, establishment figures like Kirk or Walsh pivoting to our worldview. The list goes on and on. We are inevitable. Do not listen to haters and doubters. I disagree with this guy on a lot of things, but like, I agree with every single word he says there. I mean, and that's the thing too, is like, and that's where I think he needs to get rid of this whole demographics is destiny shit, because that's a self-fulfilling prophecy right there. That's negativity in my view. But
he has a greatest attitude.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, and Trump is always positive. He talks about in his book too, The Art of the Deal, about being positive, about being optimistic, and Scott Adams says the same thing too. You know, it's the power of positive thinking. Norman Vincent Peale, you know, you can go, it's like a superpower. You can go places you couldn't go before just because you're positive. And I struggle with that a lot. And I've noticed that, like, when I am more positive, you get better places. And even Nick notices that too. And it's like, he's so right. Like, it really is being a cheerleader is how it brings your team up. And I noticed that, like, with Turning Point, like, when we were all happy, having a good times, when we were at our best.
Well,
and then like
you also got to keep it. You also got to keep in mind when you're talking about like negativity and positivity. It really, it brings like having a leader brings that out in somebody too. Like
True.
when you have a leader that does its job. Like really, your job as a leader is to provide purpose, direction, and motivation. That is your purpose. If you have a leader that provides those things, and yes, Trump is really good at providing those three things by the truckloads, it makes positivity a whole lot easier. And when you don't have those things, it makes negativity a whole lot easier.
There's a void almost, you know. If you don't feel with happiness, there's a void for sadness. And you notice that, like, as rise, like I say, they're love fest, and that's part of the power of it. This one guy of the 8 billion people on this planet, this one guy is able to get thousands of people out in the rain to see him speak and that be happy about it the whole time. You know, they're smiling the whole time when they're sitting their hours in line with rain pouring on them. I mean, it's just, that's what it's all about. And that's why energy is such an important thing. And we'll pivot and talk about Amy Coney Barrett soon. But I just think that's something we really need to focus on. Like, whenever you're trying to do something in politics, whenever you're trying to make a movement, you got to cut this shit out of, like, this super serious debate team conservative types like Ben Shapiro. Like, this is why Milo blew up in 2016 and 15. It's because he was fun, happy, interesting, provocative, and funny, just like Donald Trump.
Well, to be fair, with Ben Shapiro, it changed. Like the game changed for him. Like it wasn't.
True.
He fucking changed.
Did he change, or was this always
Ben
the way
Shapiro
he was?
did change. He changed.
His personality changed. Maybe that was his real self all along, but you know.
Well, I mean his financial goals, his financial route to his goals changed too. Like he was really good when he was going to colleges and debating people, and like he really like that. He did his good. Now that he has his Daily Wire and stuff like that, now it feels a little bit more like he's picking the safe route. He's picking the the other routes that are very unlike the old Ben Shapiro. I mean, and there was plenty there. Say it again.
he's resting on his laurels. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Well, I mean, he's playing it safe. I think it's not so much resting on his laurels. I think he's playing it safe now. Now that he's found success with like the Daily Wire, now it's like, well, now I got to play.
Now he's got something to lose.
Now I got to play. Yeah, now he has something to lose, so now he's got to try to like keep what he has or whatever.
And I understand that to a degree, but it's like when you're compromising principles and you're compromising who you are, and you're totally changing who you are. Like that's when it's like, okay, that's gay. That's dumb.
I always feel like that's playing to lose, and like going to a football analogy. It's like when you're ahead.
You start just running the ball.
Quarter, you start getting comfortable. You start running the ball. Let's not turn it over. If we have to run it 3 times and run down the clock and then punt it, we're okay. It'll be fine. No, that's how you lose games late, and that's how you demoralize a team. That's how you demoralize your team and your fan base or whatever. Like, no, the good teams, the teams that win Super Bowls, know how to close games out, right?
Yeah.
They know how to close games out. And a lot of them put their foot on the gas. They don't. I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I wish Ben Shapiro would have gotten back to that, especially because he was so valuable going to these colleges. Like when he went to these colleges and like started to, like he did what a lot of these other people did. He debated like leftists, and he did it, and he's intelligent. Like he's a really intelligent person, and he debates people so well. It's like, oh, you really kind of just went away from that. And like, I don't know. I see what Trump is doing, and I see, he's this guy. He's always providing a direction. He's always providing this, like, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. It's going to be great. It's going to be like, look, we're going to do this together. And it's all like this just uplifting this, like you would think that like a man in Trump's position would be like, I'm good. I'm satisfied. Whatever. Like, no, he's not. Like, this is like he's going the other direction. Like, it feels like he's working harder. It feels like he's got more. He's putting more on the plate. It feels like he's got this. Like, it's
so
like
maybe the secret to success then is never be satisfied.
No, it's like you can never stop if you want to. Like, especially for politics and stuff, you have to keep that energy. Like with that. Here, I think part of it too is he got greedy. Like, let's be real over here. Yeah. Like, what was he, like $80,000 or something?
Yeah.
Going to campus. He wasn't even debating him, and he was just giving a speech, and he won like thousands upon thousands of dollars, putting himself out of reach of anyone but like really big fucking like organizations.
He fell into the Jordan Peterson category. There's like tiers of like speakers. Like I learned this real quickly. There's people like Sargon who are like the most generous, and they're like, pay for my travel and hotel, and that's it. And I'm like, speaking fee? No, I don't have a speaking fee. You kidding? Wait, you don't have a speaking fee? No, I don't need one. That's like the those people I just love. They are rock solid, just doing it out of the good of their heart and for the fun of it. And they're probably already loaded, but still, it's like, it's so cool.
Like, I think honestly, it's for people who start out. That's probably more.
It's also, well, it is also for some of that. Like, there are people that start like they can't like hey, pay me $1 million, right? I have 1,000 subscribers. It's like, nah, get the fuck out of here.
Well, who is that one like lady who just had the kid or got pregnant or whatever?
Candace.
Yeah, like she used to be, from what I understand, pretty reasonable with the price. But like, didn't she increase her price?
I was gonna mention that too. I'm glad you brought that up. I almost forgot it. Because then the next tier up is like people that offer like a small speaking fee, which are like your lesser known people, and they're not doing it because of really like generosity or anything. It's just they don't have the name to draw the money. Then you have people like Milo and like Gavin. Well, see, there's like another category. Then there's like Gavin, who I forget. I think I remember his price point. So it was like 8,000 or some 5,000. He's a guy that's like very technically a very very big figure in many ways because he's co-founded Vice. He's very generous with his money, but I think he has some money. He's kind of set. I think he doesn't charge a lot. There are people like Milo that are in that tier where they charge a typical speaking fee of like 10, 15, 20,000. You know, it's like in that 5-figure range. That's just like, okay, they do this because this is how they make money. I don't have any problems with that. I think that's perfectly fair, perfectly fine, and his, ticketing system is super fair. That's great. That's your income. That's how you make it. Don't blame me. I think Ann Coulter's in that same bracket too, price point. But then when you get above 25,000, that's where I start having problems. That's when you get into Dave Rubin territory and Steven Crowder even probably now. And and it's like you're getting expensive, because I know Ruben used to be cheap. He used to be like 12,000 or something. I think he's doubled from what I've heard.
Let me guess why this was so cheap. He wasn't as well known.
Exactly. And he's under and now he's under. Well, he was under CAA CAA, the California Arts Agency, the big agency. He was under at that time, but yeah, he wasn't as big. And then beyond that tier, because I think Crowder's like 25K, so he's like pushing it, but like he's in that sort of like pushing it tier. Then you get into the greedy tier. The greedy tier to me is like beyond 25, beyond 30. It's like in another stratosphere. That's when you have like Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro was charging, I think, 55,000. Peterson, I think, was like 55 to 75,000, if I remember the number correctly. I always for some reason forget, but it's around that range. And shit, there was somebody else I'll think of it's in that range. Candace. I don't know if she's in that range for a college talk, but I do know Gavin said when Candace came on his show to talk to Colonel West, she charged him $20,000 for a.
And that's for a show, and that's not even like colleges. I could understand getting a certain amount of kickback because you're going to be traveling over there, you're going to be giving in-person speeches a chance. You're putting yourself at risk theoretically. Like I could understand charging some sort of fee, but if you're on a fucking show, like honestly, like if you charge a fee, which I don't even think you should.
No.
Like you're just giving like a 5-minute segment or whatever.
No, well, what she did was she did like an hour-long conversation with Colonel West, and Gavin was like the moderator. And the idea of the show was like having people with different yet similar views sort of talk and just have a normal conversation to be civil. And so he'd have Milo on, Colonel West, Candace, and Coulter, and he would like pit like two different minds against each other, and it'd be interesting, to have them have a conversation. The thing is, Gavin and Candace are, I don't want to say necessarily friends because I don't know their personal life, but Gavin and Paul Joseph Watson, specifically Paul, I'll throw in there, like they found Candace and they kind of got her to where she is. They brought her on their shows when she was smaller than them, and they built her following and helped her and promoted her and were really nice to her. But now that she's above them, the game has changed a bit and checks are now being written. And if I was in this position where, like, let's say Gavin brought me on his show and built me into like a worldwide celebrity, the only thing I would ask for at the most is travel and hotel being covered. I'd be like, yeah, you cover my travel, yeah, I'll come on your show. That's all I would ever ask for, and that's all you should ask for, frankly, if you're in that sort of position.
Well, yeah, especially for like a friend or like someone who's helped you in the past.
Yeah.
Like, and even if it was just some like random motherfucker, I wouldn't charge him more than like a couple grand, I don't think.
Even the walk away dude, I remember when I was talking to him, Brand Straka, about coming to Penn State, like he was only charging like a few thousand. Like you start to realize who's who when you start hearing dollar sides come into it. And
Well, they call it like what was it, the conservative dark web or whatever, the
intellectual
intellectual
dark
web.
web.
I
Those
call it
people,
fucking conservative ink. Like that's what the fuck it is.
I would call grifter ink. Centrist
Mm.
grifter ink. And I hate using the word grifter, but like, dude, who are these people? Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, Dave Rubin, and Eric Weinstein. All these people are like these sort of like nuancy, centristy, like, oh, I was a leftist and now I left the left type people that they really just don't bring anything interesting to the table. Like they keep trying to be like intellectuals, and I'm like,
I feel like you lose respect, like you lose respect with people, like when you charge people like that, like
yeah,
especially when you're talking about like a conservative movement where we're trying to change
conserve
the
money.
well, when you're trying to change the landscape of politics in general, right?
Mm,
It's like, oh, we're trying to change the politics for $40,000 a speaking fee. Like what? Like no, what the hell are you talking about? It's like I think of and maybe this is probably not related, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Like when Anthony Cumia started out his own radio show, or whenever he started his own when he started his own show with Compound Media, whatever, um, he originally um, did the show with Sirius XM with Jim Norton, who's like a comedian, and
yeah,
he's a pretty well known comedian, right? Um, but when Anthony Cumia went and he went into rehab for some, like, which things happen. Jim Norton filled in for Anthony Cumia, right? And you think, well, what does this big name comedian who's now doing shows and he's doing movies and he's doing stand-up specials? It's like, well, what the fuck is he doing with Anthony Cumia? It's like, look, this is a guy that, like, they're friends, and this guy helped him become something, right? Like not a lot of people knew who Jim Norton was before, like Opie and Anthony. And then so it's like now that Anthony Cumia is doing his own thing, but he's came back in a little bit of a trouble, or he's trying to start his own thing, whatever. It's like, no, Jim Norton came in to help out his friend, and that's how I feel like it. That's how I feel like it should be. It's like, no, you
yep.
don't do it to try to cash in. Like, no, there's bigger things in play here. And it's like when you start demanding like 50,000 a clip, it's like, are you really in on this, on this bigger movement here, or are you just trying to pad your own fucking pocket? Because it feels shitty. It feels like the same swamp mentality that we're trying to fight. I don't
Well, it's
I don't
simply
get it.
greed, and it's simply
Yeah.
like, dude, this is are you treating this person like a business partner or a friend?
Yeah.
Are you treating them like a whore, or are you treating them like a friend?
Yeah.
It's like, I just find it, it's just messed up to me. It's like, well, what do you like? Look, I love money. I want to be rich, but I'm not gonna do it that way. It's like,
Well,
if you can make money off it, great, but don't be greedy. Like, yeah, I would charge money for college talks. Like, fuck yeah. Like,
who are they charging to? It's like, are they charging the school or are they charging that organization? Like, this
yeah,
one thing, if you're going to charge a school
But
who like funds leftist
dude,
institutions,
get all the money you can.
yeah.
but if they're like charging the college Republicans with doing, this, it's a little bit different. Like, if I was in charge, I'd be like, okay, here's what the school paid me. And here's, you're going to pay 20%. I'll give you your 20%. I'll fund that just so I can take the school's money, because fuck them.
Well, when I was talking to Milo and his agent about, some things like about Jordan Peterson, and how much he spends, like I was telling him about that, and Milo was like, he's like, that's disgusting that Jordan Peterson charges that much to speak to, no offense, college kids. He's like, that's insane. Like, that's just utterly disgusting. And
Yeah.
you know, and it's like, and Pearson to me is a good example of like a quote unquote grifter, or a guy that just literally is in it for the money, or maybe it didn't start off that way, but it became that way, because it's like, dude, I mean, don't you get like college kids? First of all, like when you fund shit, like, you know, like let's say you get the school to fund it, great, like max that out, but like if you're gonna do that and then you have to pay on top of that, it's like, well, okay, now we gotta be careful what we charge. You can't go too high because you can only make that up through ticket sales and donations. If you're charging more than fucking like $10-15 for an average ticket,
I'd
you're
say you
insane.
get like 25. Like, I see students paying for fucking like, I think you go up to
25 is
25.
your absolute max for a normal general admission
Okay,
ticket.
like let's say that like fuck Metallica or something, or like the Chainsmokers.
Okay, concerts are a little different. We're talking about people that just come to speak in front of a microphone.
Yeah, and then concerts, they play songs. These people, yeah, I get. Like, let's say if it was a debate, let's say between like fucking, I don't know, Milo and fuck,
Chank.
who'd be oh my god, if Milo and Ben Shapiro have a debate, like, I mean, he would not, like, Shapiro would never agree to that, but like,
I think Shapiro has debated Chank, but he's never debated Milo. He would never agree to that.
Milo versus Ben Shapiro.
Oh yeah, that's always been notorious for never happening. But but that's like multiple people, that does have more value. But like Peterson, for example, like, okay, Crowder, I always draw this comparison. Crowder at least brings a fucking show. He brings a set, he brings costumes, he brings props, he brings a lot of stuff. Like, there's a lot of value there. Even if you're a fan of him or not, like, you can't deny that there's actual value in the production. Yeah. Pearson brings his fucking clothes on his back. He doesn't even bring his own microphone. He just shows up, It's like, and he charges like double what Crowder, triple what Crowder does. It's like, are you kidding me? And that's the thing I'm trying to say. Is like, there's the value. It's the value that you lose. And it's like even like a comedian, for example, it's like, like Chappelle, like, does he have like fancy lights and like a whole bunch of costumes and stuff? No, but he's one of the funniest comedians living, so that's enough value there. Pearson's just a fucking like professor. A professor. I mean, what?
Yeah, if you brought like Ted Nugent, I could understand like charging significantly more for a ticket.
Wait, he's like a AAA rock star. I mean,
yeah,
I would pay that much for Cat Scratch Fever.
Yeah, dude, man.
You guys should bring him over. Like, honestly, like, see if you can get like, because since he is a rock star, you could probably get him. Yeah, and like, see if he can come in like an hour beforehand or something. Like, talk to you guys about like cool shit. Did you see his Joe Rogan thing? I think he did a while. Like,
yeah, I've seen parts of that. That was a while back. Is there a new one?
No. I just watched it the other day when I was bored at work.
Yeah, I like Uncle Ted. He's grown on me a lot. I used to like think he was crazy, but then I was like, no, he's awesome.
Like, crazy.
Exactly.
Like, we need he's that type of like, you have your liberal activists and stuff who like burn bras and like say kill all men. He's like the conservative version of that, and we need that. Like, before, like, he was, kind of like, he wasn't gay like Milo, but he kind of did the similar function in that like he would like trigger the left. Shit. Like, he would trigger the left before triggering was the word.
Well, yeah, because he would say stuff like, like edge. He would actually be like legitimate, like, like when leftists say like, I'm not trying to, don't take this the wrong way, anyone, but like when leftists would like talk about like hanging Trump supporters or like, blowing up the White House, like Ted kind of pushes that sort of line, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, like I think when Obama got elected, he said, if Obama gets elected, I'm either going to be like dead or in jail or something. And the Secret Service visited his house. Yeah, and it's like, it's funny too, because like the left say, oh, that never happens for Republicans. Well, that shit happens to him, and he, they just question him. He never got in any trouble for it, but he wasn't actually going to do anything. It's just him talking, like blowing smoke up someone's ass.
Yeah.
Just being a troll, man. Like, we need more people like that. Like,
well, we had them, but guess what? And this is, I will never stop beating this to death because it just grinds my gears so much. We had those people. They were growing and they were popular and they were having a great time, and then big tech banned them, and Republicans did nothing but sit on their asses and even cheer on the bans, cheer on the canceling, or even were a fucking major part of it and were orchestrating it. And that is why we're here.
Penn State, hint, hint. You fuckers out there.
What was that?
Hint, college Republicans at Penn State. You pieces of shit.
Yeah, exactly. And and that's why I hate, like, if there's one good thing the Groypers do is they kind of purge some of these people, or at least scare them a bit, or make people like realize the hypocrisy of these people. Because when you have these people in control, things aren't going to change unless you can get them to like do what you want. Like for example, if Turning Point was bringing Milo to campuses, be the shit. But they don't. If they were bringing the Gavin to campus or Roger Stone, they'd be the shit. But they don't. It's like, that's why we're where we are and what we're trying to do behind the scenes with things. It's like, if somebody would do that, because it can be done. That's the thing. It's not that these things can't be done. In some places,
it's happened before, like pretty recently in some places.
Yeah,
like at least for the past couple of years.
Oh, and even Roger spoke at some places recently too, and it's like, and I understand some of these things are harder to do now. In some places, some things can't happen, but it's like, you just need one or two events, one or two speeches by this one person a year or another person a year. It can fucking happen. It's just nobody does it, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah, who's like, what organization's going to want to put their name on it?
That's the problem.
And that's why we need your fucking organization, because everyone's too afraid.
And that's the thing too, is
they're fucking offensive. They play like, there's offensive shit coming, from my student tuition all the time. Like, there was like feminists who go to Penn State and shove like carrots up their ass and like do a bunch of other stuff. And that was a real event. I didn't see it, but I remember we had like some Jerry Sandusky apologists at the College Republicans once.
What?
Yeah, this was before your time. And he came over. He was like, I don't know if he was some alumni or conservative or something. He was talking about like, they had these feminists come over there. This one lady shoved a carrot up her ass and like took it out. And then like, so apparently they used to play like porn films in the Forum building, I think, on like Saturday nights.
What?
Like, he was telling me some like really weird stuff. He kept saying that like Jerry Sandusky didn't actually do it.
Is he legit basically saying Jerry did nothing wrong?
He was saying that he was like set up and that, I went to church with him. He would never do that. I think there was a conspiracy, and like there is some conspiracy things that happened there, but I don't think for a second that Jerry isn't a pedophile.
Also, the thing too, because my movie club back in the day, the Critically Acclaimed Movies Club, freshman year we used to watch movies in Forum. By the way, that's a terrible place to watch movies. I don't know why they were doing that, because the sound in those rooms is ass, because it's the acoustics are configured in the room for professors talking on mics. But when you have movies with music and sound effects and voices, like all of those layers, it gets all muffled and you can't hear anything. So if they were watching porn,
why would you care?
Hey, they have stories in them.
Yeah, it's like, I got the pizza delivery. Yeah, that's the story.
There's sausage on it.
I feel like the thing with Uncensored America is like there's a chance. Like, I think there's a chance for it to be seriously valuable.
I
like,
think so too.
This is what it's like, because like in a world of like where everybody's like, trying to stay in a lane and not trying to rub some people the wrong way, or not trying to associate people with anybody or whatever, like this would be like one of those groups where we'd be like, we don't care. Like, it's just like, if you have a voice and you're trying to get a point across, like let's hear it, because like there's not enough of that. There's not enough of that in the world, and there's too many fake organizations that say that they're for this shit or whatever.
And they're not.
Yeah, and they're not. I'd love to be able to have like a group where you could have Milo Yiannopoulos speak one week and then have a stand-up comedian speak the next week. I'm
Sounds like Joe
perfectly
Rogan.
okay. But it's like, but yeah, I mean,
Well, and that's what the
but
appeal with Joe
even
Rogan was. It's like he'd have anybody
yeah,
on. And now that's
yeah.
changing. We can dive into that next, but I want to ask you guys one thing real quickly about this though. Is
Mhm.
like what I've never understood about this whole thing, like of what we're talking about, is like literally you want to clocks back a few years ago, and Turning Point chapters would bring Milo. They would
Mhm.
bring, controversial, interesting people.
Mhm.
What fucking changed? Because
Yeah.
yes, Milo had his controversy, but everybody that has a brain on the right knows it's stupid and it's bullshit fake news. But other people like Gavin, Roger Stone, I mean, Alex Jones might be a little different case, but like these people, like what's changed? Why is it all of a sudden we can't associate with these people? We can't do speaking events. We can't do this. Because it doesn't just seem to be Turning Point. It seems to be an across the board thing. All these people are banned from social media. They're kind of almost outcast from society. They're not a part of the conversation. What the fuck happened?
They're scared of the Twitter mob, which doesn't which I mean, if you look at it, you think why?
Like what do they do?
They're a fucking Twitter mob. Who gives a fuck what they think?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh, we don't want any. Like they're scared of any negative press. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
why are they so
you're
scared
never
now when they
like,
used to
especially
not be?
Penn State, like Penn State's scared of negative press. Are you talking about the home of Jerry Sandusky? Get the fuck out of my face, man. That's the last school to be fucking talking about any image of any kind. Like, you ruined that shit forever. Like, there's no. I mean, honestly, these, in all honesty, these colleges have just become nothing but cattle moving fucking money makers.
It's not
That's
the
it.
it's not the college. It's like Penn State. Like if you had an organization that would fund it, I think they'd have to allow it. But it's just it's the other organizations, and that's a donor issue.
Yeah, but if
Maybe
if
that's where
Donald
it comes to.
if Donald Trump didn't fucking threaten to pull their federal funding,
Yeah.
would they do it? I don't know. I don't know.
Even Donald Trump, I think, was president. Like they did.
Yeah, they did it. Keyword did.
Well,
right?
Well, I've never seen them pull funding from like a student speaker. They had a fucking terrorist come to speak at Penn State.
A left-wing terrorist.
Yeah, but the left wing. We're talking. So if they're left wing, it's totally okay. With right wing, we're gonna have to jump through more hoops, and you're gonna have to find other sources of money. And
I think maybe the donor thing is where the core of the problem might be, but it's like, and that's gonna be the biggest hurdle for our org is donors. I've heard there are donors that are even like helping the Groypers a bit. I don't know how true that honestly is.
There probably is. That's the thing. It's like, it's listening to this like one podcast. There will always be people to go and fund your shit, but it's just how much and how hard is it to find these people? There's always disaffected fucking rich people.
Yeah, I bet that's true, and that's gonna be our biggest challenge. And I'm just trying to figure this out because it's really bizarre in many ways. Because, like in 2016, we would love doing things, talking about things related to all these cool, edgy people, the fun people. And then they got all cast aside, and we all seem to be okay with that, or at least enough people do. I don't want to say all, but like, it's a very, 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 very strange thing because, like, for example, Joe Rogan, we can talk about that. I mean, that's a good segue into this. He's had Milo on, Gavin, Sargon, a bunch of other people, and we all Alex Jones, it's the biggest one. It was so normal, It might be a little bit surprising, like, oh, Milo's gonna be on Joe Rogan. Wow, that's pretty amazing. But like, you never went like, oh my god, Milo's gonna be on Joe Rogan. Holy shit! Like, I can't believe they pulled that off. Like, I mean, he wouldn't. I don't think he'd ever be on there. Like, this is insane. Like, isn't he banned from site? Like, what I'm saying is like the sort of, I don't even know how to describe this, but I think you guys know what I mean. It's like, the paradigm has shifted, And it's like there seems to be again like an inside. It's like a clique almost. Like there's like an in group and an out group. And Spotify, you go on it. There's the lost episodes are still missing on there, and Joe hasn't addressed it. And there's now news that Spotify employees are threatening to go on strike if they don't censor Joe Rogan.
Well, it depends on what's in his contract.
Who the fuck knows what's in that contract now, Mister? Oh, it's gonna be the same show. Nothing's changing, guys. And now Spotify's literally it sounds like Spotify wants to now have editorial control on the show.
So it's not gonna happen. Like, see, here's the thing. Like, they're a business. First and foremost, they're a business. One, they're like Alex was saying, he's locked into a contract. There's a contract there, okay, and there's probably language for Joe, like language protections for Joe Rogan, because like any good fucking person does, they get lawyers to fucking handle all that shit. Secondly, okay, a couple of employees threatened to leave. Fuck them. I could have like if you so you're telling me some tech employee is threatening to leave? Big fucking whoop. I could find another one of you by 4:00 tomorrow morning, right? Where the fuck am I going to find another Joe Rogan, right? Where am I going to find another a podcaster who's one of the biggest podcasters in the world, right? Where am I going to find another one of those, right? You're gonna, like, let's keep it real. Like, I could replace, like, what, a fucking, so basically a programmer is threatening to leave. I could find another one of you in a minute. Like, get the fuck out of my face. Where the fuck am I gonna find Joe Rogan?
I agree. I think that's probably how it's gonna be, but the idea, and I think this is what these employees were going on strike for, is they want to have editorial control.
Now, with that said, do I think they're going to test the waters? Spotify's going to test the waters? Probably.
Depends on,
highly likely.
It all depends on what's in that contract. Because I don't think Joe Rogan would go and sign a contract that says you can't have this person on. I think Spotify will try to test the waters, and I think Joe, being rich, being smart, and probably having really good lawyers, is going to say, go up to Spotify and go, you can't do that as per contract, as per business rules, blah, 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 blah. And that'll get shut down really quickly. If they end up breaching their contract, then Joe would probably be in a bunch of money.
Here's a better way to frame this. I think this is a better question to ask, rather than like contracts and all that jazz, to kind of address, like, is it going to be the same show? Is Joe going to still be Joe? Like, what's the deal here? Will Joe have Alex Jones on his show again on Spotify?
I could see it. It depends on the contract. I mean,
But do you think they're going to, Spotify would let that happen? Regardless of what's in the contract or not, do you think the company itself is going to be cool with that?
If it's in the contract, they have to honor it. Like, that's, but like Alex is saying, that contract is pretty fucking important. Like, because if there's any amount of leeway, I think Spotify will attempt to railroad Joe Rogan. But the problem is, contracts are you can't null and void a contract without it costing you money. So.
Also, Joe apologized on Twitter recently, which is something he really doesn't do, about the fires in Portland, where he was bringing up the idea that Antifa, or people were arrested for lighting some fires there, like Antifa. First of all, the story's true. Like, even Trent, our guy Trent Lipinski, replied to Joe's tweet posting a video by Tim Pool showing like people were actually arrested. I'm not sure why you'd apologize for something that's true. This is what I'm saying. It's like, and I do agree, like, with you guys. Like, it does depend what's in his contract, and it'd be interesting to know what's in there. And I think this is kind of concerning. He's now
I
tweeting out
mean,
apologies.
there's not. I mean, I agree that there is a little bit of cause for concern. Like I do.
Yeah,
I
I'm not
mean,
trying to jump to any conclusions, but I'm just saying these are not good signs. Because, like, this
Yeah.
didn't happen until we got on Spotify. He didn't have missing episodes. He didn't issue apologies. He
But did
didn't.
Alex Jones like talk about that at some point?
I'm waiting for a new Alex video because the last thing Alex posted was like, he talked to Joe and Joe said, "Oh, these episodes are gonna still be up. It's gonna be his 100 best episodes," and like, I don't
Yeah,
fucking
that'd be
know.
like #1 if that's his best episodes, because like the amount of viewers of that's like insane.
Well, if you check Joe Rogan's YouTube channel, the #1 most watched podcast he's ever done is the first time with Elon Musk. #2 is this Alex Jones Returns episode. The fucking like 6 hour like fucking like wild ride that was. That is one of the best podcasts like in the history of podcasts. It's so good. It is priceless entertainment. And now I don't know if we're gonna see Alex back on. I'll be honest, I really don't know. I would love to see what Alex has to say. I'm scrolling through his recent videos right now, because I didn't see anything recently, but I'm just very concerned with Joe. I don't know if he's sold out. I don't know if Spotify's jerking him over, or I don't know what's going on, and that's also concerning if we just simply don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's gonna really know until he does or doesn't do an episode, or Alex Jones comes out and says, "Hey, this is what's happened. Fuck you, Spotify. They have him by the balls." But I just can't see Joe Rogan, doing that when he made the contract, because I mean he has money. Like if he wanted to, like he could have retired, never done a single thing as like afterwards, and he would still be sitting pretty.
Well, and that's the thing too, is doesn't, like, I remember I've heard, like, with, for example, Jay Leno supposedly made all of his money touring. Like the Tonight Show, yeah, made a lot of money, yeah, but like it was nothing compared to his comedy tours and shows. Isn't Joe Rogan the same thing? Where it's like, isn't he making like the majority of his wealth through touring, through doing comedy shows across the country, like kind of like music
Well, he
artists?
he does a lot of well, not so much. He does a lot of smaller gigs, which is pretty cool, which is
Yeah,
actually
it's
really
cool.
cool. He does a lot of smaller gigs, and he doesn't do as many shows because he has a lot of like other shit. Like he has the UFC stuff and and some of the other stuff that he does.
He's
So it's
supposed to be in
not
Madison Square Garden
like
on October 2nd, 2021. Shit.
yeah.
I mean, and I know, yeah, he does do smaller stuff. I've heard him talk about that. But I'm looking on his like Ticketmaster, and it's like, dude, he has a lot of huge gigs. Like it's basically
Yeah.
like one or two huge gigs, like
Yeah.
every month or so.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I'm assuming that he's probably ramping up something different. Well, I mean, it's maybe he's found. I don't know, with some stand-up comedians, it's like you do the smaller gigs to work on your material.
Mm.
Yeah, you like to work on some of the jokes that you're trying to kind of throw together, and like if it works, great. If it doesn't, a good thing it's a small show and I never have to fuck with these people again. But it's like it's one of those things, like I know Louis CK used to do that a lot
Yeah.
too. Like he'd do smaller shows, kick a few jokes off, see what works, and then if not, work on different stuff or whatever. Which, I mean, that's what really funny comedians do. And Joe Rogan, really funny comedian, right? So, yeah, I hope he has Tim J. Dillon on.
I saw you
Because
posting that stuff. I didn't get a chance to look at it yet.
I love he's definitely one of my favorite comedians. I think he takes more after he takes more after my personality, I think, because it's like very random, but it is kind of dirty and there is some impersonations and stuff. It's just funny. Yeah, Megan McCain does not like him. Does
Good.
not
He
like
must
him.
be doing something right.
Because he did some bits where he basically made fun of Megan McCain, and it was raunchy, but it was funny. Like, it was obviously it wasn't serious, but it was funny. It was dirty, it was raunchy, and it was fucking funny. But of course, it came at her expense. So
Good.
yeah,
She endorsed Joe Biden. Such a good Republican, isn't she? Very principled conservative.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he was like, he was imitating her, saying, "Oh, my guns aren't for sale, but my pussy is, and the price is PF Chang's." I'm like, I started dying. I'm just like, yeah, the only one that can take my guns is Daddy, and I'm just like, it's just like, it's off the wall, and it's just but his stand-up's off the wall too. I like that sort of thing, because you're like, it's supposed to throw you. Good stand-up humor is supposed to kind of throw you off a little bit.
Yeah,
and kind of like
pushes
puts
the
you
edge.
puts you out of that fixed element that you're expecting. Like, if you're going to a show, you're expecting something, and then they just kind of like it's cool. It's really cool. Joe Rogan's really good at doing that too. Like, he's good at like just coming up with good stuff. Like, he's just coming up with good stuff that's like off the wall, that kind of really throws you off of what to expect.
Speaking of Joe Rogan, do you want to go house hunting again to Joe Rogan's new Lake Austin estate?
Oh, fuck. All right.
I'm looking at it right now. He's got not a lot of grass and a lot of rocks.
Where's this up?
Yeah, if you click view all on there, let me post a better link, because it's fucking like site makes you like click like 3 links to get to the pictures. But yeah, it looks like it's $14 million worth. All right, very modern, maybe a little too plain for my taste.
Yeah,
a little drab.
I hate how there's so much windows in that room. I don't know. I like windows and all, but like you can't even open some of those. I don't think.
No, usually you can't. Like there's some you can see the open one to the left there and to the right. Like they're actual doors, though, but like to slide them open, no, you can't. It's just for looks and to have lots of sunlight.
Oh, so that's why he's doing those big shows, huh? 'Cause he's got to pay the mortgage on that fat fucking house.
That was like what, like almost $100 million contract.
$100 million Spotify deal. Yep.
Yeah, but that's like
buying that shit.
They're not giving
it's
you
not
the
upfront.
full. Yeah, you earn that shit like through like. First off, it's probably like a yearly salary of some kind. Like,
well, how long was the contract?
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years.
It's a long time.
That's probably so. It's probably 10 mil, and it's probably not all guaranteed. Like, it's probably up to 100, and like it's up to 100 years. Up to 100 million over 10 years, which is like 10 million. It's probably not all guaranteed, so it's probably less than that. So you're looking at less than 10 million a year. And if you're living he moved to Texas, I think so.
Yeah, that's where this house is. It's in Austin, which is right where Alex Jones lives.
Yeah. So his money will go a little bit further than California, like less than 10 million. You're probably not getting shit out in LA for that. But
well, and plus he had didn't he have a pretty nice house in LA too before he?
Oh, I bet he did.
Yeah, but
he sold that. He probably got
he probably sold that. Probably sold that at a fucking loss, because the California market is just absolute dog shit.
Unless he kept it. I mean, he probably could have kept that house and just waited.
Probably, but look, I mean, he probably didn't, because property tax is a motherfucker for a place you're not living in. like in California, holy God, taxes are insane.
Well,
Taxes
actually,
are already insane anyway, but you put it, you think property taxes for a place that you're not living at?
mhm.
Holy fuck.
Well, yeah, but then you could like he could fucking rent that out or something.
I'm not saying he can't afford it. I'm
Airbnb
just
it.
saying,
Oh, no,
holy
there's like
shit,
a
you're gonna.
one like, hey, stay in Joe
Yeah.
Rogan's old house. Like someone would probably pay money just because Joe Rogan lives there.
Dude,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
could you
mean-
imagine? Like, he'd be the biggest Airbnb user. Be like, yeah, just sleep in my place for a fucking like week. I'll come back next week, and then, you can do the next week. I'm
Well,
trying to
actually, you know
find.
what? That's public record, I think. Like what houses you own.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find how long his Spotify deal is. What'd you say? You keep cutting in and out.
I wonder if you could find his old house and see how much he sold it for.
I could do some research and probably find it. I'm trying to find how long that Spotify deal was, and I thought I read it was 10 years, but now I can't really find anything that says how many years it is.
I can't see him taking a 10-year contract. That just
It might
seems
be
like
5.
Yeah, I could see that. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Oh, and look
mean-
at okay. Why does this house have blue fucking walls?
Well, I mean, come on, it's fucking. Who cares? Who gives a shit about the color of the walls?
You're
Like,
paying
yeah, you
$14
can change
million
that shit.
that you want to have the best fucking.
Yeah, but
wall.
look at the
You
furniture
could
it comes
change
with
that on
too.
a heartbeat.
These
That's
like
like the
shitty
easiest
chairs that look like they're from like a fucking haunted mansion. I'm just saying, when you're getting that 14 million, I hope you get something worth like in there that you could like sell to like be like, yeah.
If
like,
the
some-
crown, okay, so if the crown molding is bad, okay, gotcha. Okay, fair. Okay, the walls, like, oh, just dude.
It just looks so
walls
out of
itself are-
character. I'm like, who was doing this? Like, what are they doing? Lots of
It's a house
elephants.
in Texas. Texas houses have their own thing. Like it's not. I don't. There's a lot of houses in Texas that I don't feel interior wise, but like,
I've never been to Texas except.
it's a fix. You
Yeah.
can fix that shit.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you need to.
Oh yeah, you can, but I'm just like, well, this 14 million, and I see that, I'm gonna like, gonna call that shit out.
Well, yeah, you spend that sort of money, you expect you're not gonna have to do much, if any, work.
Well, he's not gonna have to look. It's not much. Like painting a wall is not fucking much.
Like $14 million, you could build your own house. Like
That's what I would actually do if I was
Yeah.
rich. I would just build my own house.
unless I could
No.
find some like amazing fucking house, yeah, I'd probably build it.
Yeah.
If you're trying to if you're moving and it looked like Joe Rogan wanted to really get the fuck out of California, yeah, you're probably gonna want something turnkey.
I love how it has a pool and then a fucking lake. So like you can like wake up one day and be like, the lake's a little cool today. I'll go in the pool. Like that's how fucking rich you are. You don't just have, as Adam Kroll would say, this isn't like fuck you money. This is like fuck me money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I would love to live on a lake like that though. Well, not that type of lake, but like that's still cool. That's not a ways. That looks more like a river almost, but dude, that is nice as shit. Oh.
See, if I had that sort of money, though, I'd have like multiple houses. I would think like I'd have like a shitty townhouse somewhere, or like not shitty, but like all right, just so I could be like in the middle of everything, like go to town, whatnot. Then have like this retreat.
That's the thing too. I've always been conflicted on. It's like, would I have multiple or just one house? Because on the one hand, multiple houses is cool because you can like change it up. But like, I'm the type of person that likes having all my stuff in like one place. I don't like having things all over the place. Like having like, oh, it's like with my dorm. Like, oh shit, I don't have this because it's over there at home. Oh, I have this in my when I'm home. Like, oh shit, I left that in my dorm. It's like, I don't know. But maybe when you're rich, that doesn't matter. 'Cause you have like 10 things of everything. Fuck, I left the Maserati at home and shit, the Ferraris in California.
If ever I get to Bernie Madoff money, then I'll really consider it. Like multiple houses, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, I think I found his LA home, by the way. Man, we are house hunting. I just googled Joe Rogan LA home, and there was like a video to show like he only had like a $5 million home. Dumps a record shattering $5 million. Oh yeah, this is from 2018. in Bell Canyon.
I have no idea
Dude, that house does not look that good, actually.
Well, it's fucking 5 million, and it's in the LA region. Hell no, it's not going to be much.
It's only 5 million.
Yeah, no, for
that's not
that is the only place in the United States where you could say that too. Like it's only 5 million. In LA, that's like, that ain't much of shit. Like no, but correction, Miami, you can say that as well. But anyway,
Well, you can New York City, like you get one like
New York City,
that's like a
another
fucking
one.
apartment. That's a small apartment.
and in the Farragut area of DC. That's another area.
Yeah, like any sort of like major city.
And San Francisco, that's another area.
Yeah.
Okay, and in some areas of Boston are like that too.
Man, the list is growing.
That's anywhere with a major fucking city.
And some places in Seattle are like that too. So no matter what they tell you about CHOP.
Seattle's nuts.
Okay, all right, fine. Okay, so there's a lot of expensive places out here. Okay,
yeah,
got it.
There are a few.
No, you got like. There's what was it, Star? Like I know Miami has like a Star Island, which was like a man-made island that had like luxury homes or whatever, which is like I think like a whole bunch of fucking.
I love how at the time there were articles saying inside Joe Rogan's outrageously expensive house in Bell Canyon, California. Whoa! Oh my God! 4.5 million. Wow! That was the outrageously expensive house, guys.
I mean, for most people, that is outrageous.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but I'm saying in retrospect, now that he has a fucking $14 million house, it's like, wow.
Oh yeah, and Austin's like a lot lower cost of living too, so it's like more expensive in terms of real money, and
he's paying more money too.
Austin is shit though.
Is it?
I mean, it's gotten like super liberal. We'll have to bring Donnie back on here
I've always thought about like, was Texas like? Because I've always tried to figure out like, what's the place to live? You know, like I've always liked Michigan. I do like Montana. Like, fuck, is it Montana or Wyoming? Wyoming, you know, and that sort of mountainous area. But apparently, it's not that. It's harder to live in than it seems like. But then I would never live in California. But like, is Texas the place to be? Like, what is the place to be?
It's where do you fucking want to live? Like,
well, the problem is like a lot of places are either like there are some really nice places that are like too far away from shit, or they're like just like completely on the wrong side of the country. It's like, I don't know.
I liked San Antonio when I was there. I mean, Houston's gotten to be really fucking shitty too. Like Houston and Austin, and Dallas too. Like they've become like liberal fucking cesspools as far as Texas goes. I mean, they're not California bad, but they're still pretty liberal bad. But
see, for me, what always is the make or break thing is the climate, the weather.
Yeah.
Like, is Texas? I understand it gets hot, but it's like dry heat. Like, I mean, you live in PA now. Which is more manageable? I mean, I'm the type of person that hates I mean, I tolerate heat better than some people, but I definitely hate those 95-degree days with the burning sun and humidity. But is like the heat in PA worse than the heat in Texas, or are they just kind of different?
Well, I mean, there's definitely no, those Texas days can suck. Those summer Texas days suck ass. But well, no, I mean, with Pennsylvania, it's a different kind of heat, but it still kind of sucks. I mean, like the summer days in Pennsylvania, you get quite a few summer days in Pennsylvania that are just like humid as fuck, and it's just like miserable. He's just
Yeah.
like,
That's
fuck my
actually a better
life
way to
kinda
phrase
hot.
it. Are there more
Yeah.
miserable weather days in Texas or
Yeah.
less?
Hey guys, have you been checking the chat?
Oh, shit. I put it away for a second. Speaking of Airbnb, did you see the tweet about the lady who went to an Airbnb and got offended because there was a Trump sign?
Oh, that sounds. We need to find this.
Epic. Absolutely amazing. Airbnb. Probably come up. Yeah, well, why did you fucking rent from it then, you know?
Maybe it didn't say it's a Trump's. I mean, do you have to disclose that? Like, that's fucking stupid.
No,
like,
but it's like, I would think it. Well, actually, let me phrase it a better way. Like, why do you give a shit? Oh, I'm sleeping at a Trump supporter's house. Oh, there's probably, like, coronavirus here.
Well, you know what's funny? Like, they're complaining about that. I had these, like, Chinese exchange students when I was at Penn State. Like, I was doing this Chinese class, and, like, you met that guy.
Oh,
and he was telling me, like, the first night, I ran off to New York City because I might never get to go to America again. And I went to this Airbnb from this like lesbian couple's house, and there was like baby doll parts all around the house, like glued onto like the fucking like walls.
Yeah.
I'm just like, Jesus, man, this is that's pretty fucked.
Dude, these people are mental. The leftists are fucked in the head. They really are.
Oh, this all makes sense now. I'm reading the headline. Oh, fuck you, ad. Full page ad. Brown University researcher.
I'm telling you, get the premium, dude.
Oh, of Daily
Get the
Caller?
fucking premium. Like, dude,
An ad blocker.
Dude, I'm not gonna pay. I'm not gonna shell out some shekels to these people. No.
I'm telling. Look, YouTube Premium during political season, and I will speak this
I'm not on YouTube though.
Till the cows come home. Look, like every time because the YouTube is flooded with political ads. They flood that shit with political ads. And for my own sanity, I went and got YouTube Premium, and I'm telling you, it's the best investment for political season ever.
Here, I posted the article in news. It's not on YouTube. It's actually on the Daily Caller. It had like a full page ad that popped up, but it's a fucking university person that was demanding this refund of Airbnb. Well, imagine my shock.
Scared for my life and safety. What a fucking pussy. Like you're a fucking college professor and you get scared about like a fucking sign. Concern doesn't even like you sign in the house with you right now.
There's more. Did you read it? It says Trump yard signs and other white nationalist symbols. Other white nationalist symbols. That's implying the Trump yard signs are white nationalist symbols. So let's find out what else is, shall we? Oh, he posted on Twitter. Of course he did. Let's dive in. Is there a thread? Oh no, I can't view his tweets. Okay, well.
After people complain, see, that's what's scary. It's like if this guy's doing that, and he's a professor, like how's he gonna react if you wear a Trump sign? They're not gonna feel like safe, and they're gonna tell you gather. Yeah, that means he's probably kicked out of like actually teaching.
These are his tweets. Okay. We left an Airbnb says they can't do anything. Prime example of how white companies make a BLM statement, but when black person, and they now capitalize the B, tells them they didn't feel safe, they do nothing. What'd you not feel safe about? If they want to be racist.
KKK symbols, but because they hid their tweets because they're a bitch.
It was probably all it was probably just a hustle job to try to get some money back. Like that's probably what it was.
I just want to know what the other signs were. Like what were the other like white nationalist symbols here? What was so scary? What did they have like the OK emoji there? Oh, he says that the U.S. flag is.
The U.S. flag is the sign of white supremacy, and we need to get it out of there.
That's what he's saying. He says, Bueno also said that the U.S. flag is one of the several symbols, including the Confederate flag, the KKK symbols, and Trump signs that are used to scare black people. How the fuck is the American flag used to scare black people when you had MLK and every civil rights leader that's worth a damn waving the fucking flag, the American flag?
Like, what do they mean by KKK symbols? Just say, like, well, it should be like
The
triple K
cross.
or something.
No, it'd
Like,
be like the cross. It's probably the cross.
It's a corruption. Like, they get offended from that.
Oh, that's a hot take. Oh, speaking of BLM, funny story about that. Did you see at Penn State what they did?
What do they do this time?
Well, they do what they always do, which is they held a vigil for the death of a partner in crime whose boyfriend was shooting at the cops, and she got caught in a crossfire because she was involved with a drug dealer. You know, it's a very tragic death, isn't it? You know, she was an innocent, just totally innocent person that really did nothing wrong.
Was she involved in the drug deal?
Yes, she was.
Okay, oh yeah, and that's what you get.
She was helping him wheel and deal him. It's like Gab McGinnis says, like, if she knows,
wait,
she's
are
involved.
we talking about Brianna? Are we talking about Brianna?
It's amazing. I don't know how you got that, but yes, it is Brianna. I don't know how you got that because she's a total innocent angel. Like, what I just described is completely opposite. I don't know how you guessed that.
I argue all that. Like, I've argued with a couple of people. She made me look. Did Breonna Taylor deserve to die? Of course not. Right? She didn't. Like, of course not. But people have to understand life is a game of odds, right? If you make bad decisions, you increase the odds of something bad happening to you, okay? And vice versa. Like, look, and if you make good decisions, you increase the odds of something good happening to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's one of those things, like. And so, did she deserve to die? No. But hanging around a fucking ex-boyfriend that was all in the fucking drug game. Let's just say Brianna wasn't involved in the drug game at all, right? Let's just say hypothetically that she wasn't involved. But like, she hung around this guy that she knew was deeply involved in this fucking drug game, right? She knew he was involved, right?
Wait.
So
she said this was an ex-boyfriend?
Yeah.
So why the fuck, like, okay, who in their right mind hangs around with, like, ex-boyfriends or girlfriends or
it
whatever?
Was an ex, like, you can...
Like, I never understand that. If I'm your
I mean even okay, well, let's just say another hypothetical, and that Breonna Taylor, after breaking up with him, never met him again, right? Let's just we'll give even more hypotheticals to these fucking liberals. But your decisions can not only affect you now, but they can affect you in the future as well. Like, there's things that could happen within, like, the crime game, the drug game, that can have ripple effects even in the future. Like, say you could be involved in, you could have been you might not have known you were in a drug deal or something like that, but then your ex-boyfriend might implicate you or say, oh, she was there or something like that. And then all of a sudden now you're getting spied on something that you didn't even fucking know about. Like, shit like that happens all the time, right? With these cases, right? So you have to make better decisions in order to better your odds of something bad happening. Like, and again, I always keep saying this. She didn't deserve to die. Like, I don't think anybody really deserves to die unless you're like a serial rapist or something like that, like, or a child molester or whatever. I think then you deserve to die. But anyway, it's life is a game of odds. Like, if you make bad decisions, that's like, okay, if I go if I walk into a back alley in New York City with a brand new shiny Rolex on my wrist, do I increase the odds that I get jacked?
Yep. Well, yeah.
I increase the odds. It's like, did I deserve to get my Rolex taken? No, but did I increase the fucking odds of that happening to me? Yeah. So that's kind of what I try to say to people. But do you think they want to hear that? Nope. They're like, oh, so you said they deserve it. I said, no, nobody deserves it. But again, life is a game of odds. That's how you got to look at life. You got to look at life as a game of odds, right? If whatever decision you make improves or decreases your odds, of something bad happening to you. That's all I'm saying. Like, look.
And I'll show you. There's actually a small story I'm gonna tell about these protests too, of something crazy that happened. But if you look at the stream, I'm going through an article here that shows photos. I can also post in the chat. It shows photos from the march, and look at this. They're in front of the Allen Street gates as usual. But look at this shit. Trump supporters are the COVID spreaders, but these fuckers are. There's no social distancing right here. They're all in front of the Allen Street gates. It's probably one of the bigger crowds I've seen. Like, this is about the size I was seeing when Trump got in.
I would have to be like, I'd have to ask them, well, what kind of justice are they looking for?
So they want the officer fired. They want police defunded or even abolished. And they probably don't even know what specific justice they want. But
they don't.
But look at this shit. Look at this, these signs. You
They
are
have,
not.
Racist black power symbolism.
They don't even these assholes don't even understand how the whole fucking
well look at it
how it even works.
People are fucking white. Like, look at these people, man.
I know. That's the thing I always tell people.
They don't understand. Like, these these white people don't fucking these suburban white people don't even understand how the fuck a police unit even works, or even how cases like this even work. Like, look at the Breonna Taylor thing. Look, you had the police, you had the Louisville police investigate the situation. You probably had the Kentucky Bureau of Investigation investigating this case. Because it made national news, you had a parallel FBI investigation handling this case as well. It goes to trial. You have, and then you have internal affairs, right? And like looking over all of this. You have so much oversight going through all of this shit.
And the thing too is, when you look at the officer that was charged, the guys that killed her weren't charged, and nobody was charged for any murder or anything like that. The one charge that was thrown at an officer wasn't really what you would think it was for. It was actually for endangering other people, because when he shot the guy, he was shooting at him, with multiple rounds. Like, look, that's what you're going to do in that situation. I mean, this charge is kind of bullshit, but I understand where it's coming from. And the charge really was that you're endangering other people because these bullets are flying through the walls and could potentially hurt and kill other people. That's a valid concern. And at the same time, it's like, when you're in that situation, you're not going to fucking think of that. You see a guy fucking shooting you, you're going to shoot back. So it's like, it's a little silly, but I get the concern. But these people are protesting over somebody. This thing was a total lie. Remember, we talked about when it first broke, and it was the original story was cops busted down this guy's door. He grabs his gun, can't tell if it's cops, and starts shooting back, and they shoot him. That's not what fucking happened. That was what the libertarians were saying. That was what the Marxists were saying, and the left. It was kind of not very cool in this story at first. It was really more the libertarians that were pushing it. Turns out none of that fucking happened. This no knock order thing wasn't what really went down. They did knock, and the boyfriend didn't respond. Witnesses can confirm that the cops knocked and identified themselves. So the boyfriend knew what he was shooting at, who he was shooting at, and he did it anyway. And the cops responded the only way any sane, normal person would. The cops did nothing wrong, okay? They did nothing wrong. The boyfriend is basically was going to be a cop killer. He was going to be a cop killer, okay? And I know these people would cheer that on, but, like, he was going to be a fucking cop killer. Say her name. Like, look at these signs. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
What do they think her name has some sort of power? Is she fucking Voldemort now?
Yeah.
Like, okay, what's saying her name gonna do? Like, you know.
What are they, Walter White? Say my name.
It's like Beetlejuice. You say it 3 times and you just pop up or whatever.
Breonna Taylor. You're goddamn right.
Like, I have to say, and even when the Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron, he is a fucking that guy might be a future rock star, man. Boy, did he do an incredible job. Man, did he do an incredible job with this whole investigation thing. And they were like, and I'm sorry, it's like, look, to even find that guy, you know, the other cop responsible for shooting, like, you know, and like recklessly. I mean that's it's impressive. Like he did a great job. He did a great job with handling it, even though, you know, like you were never gonna make these fucking rioters happy. Like you're just not gonna do it. The best thing that you can do when you're Daniel Cameron is just gather the information and do your job to the best of your ability. And I feel like he did that. And you know, and I felt like when he went on the podium and he tried to, you know, he tried to explain why he made the decisions that he made, I was impressed. And I was like, all right, I could totally get behind that. Like, and it's, you're not going to please, you're not going to please these fucking rioters or these people. But then again, these are rioters that are getting paid by somebody else to fucking riot anyway. For the most part, they're there to cause chaos.
Say his name. George Soros.
They're not there to really. I almost feel like these riots have nothing to fucking do with Breonna Taylor.
No, they never do. No, they never have.
Like, it's more along the lines of, hey, we just want to destroy shit, or we just want to overthrow the. Oh, by the way, and I saw this while I was looking on Twitter. There was a group that was saying overthrow, right? There was some lady that was speaking with a group that said, "Well, we're overthrowing the system." I'm like,
you are the system.
How the fuck is that okay? So look, attempting to overthrow the government or even advocating to overthrow the government, those are federal crimes.
Well, I know attempting to. I don't know if advocating to is.
Advocating. Hold on. Let me.
Well, there is a difference.
A lot of people in fucking trouble right now. Everyone who is at Seattle and like Seattle Chop, all these like communists out here would actually get in trouble.
I said this on an episode a while back when I was looking at some like free speech stuff.
Okay.
And they talk about some Wikipedia where there's a difference between advocating and I think instigating or something like that.
Are you ready for this? Okay. 18 U.S. Code 2385, advocating overthrow of government. Whoever knowingly or willfully advocates, abets, advises, or teaches the duty, necessity, desirability, or propriety of overthrowing or destroying the government of the United States or the government of any state, territory, district, or possession. That's it. That's exactly what these fuckers are doing.
Well, I was about to say, because I've heard that advocated tons of times and no one seems to ever get in trouble. Is this something that...
Well, there is a difference. There's a huge difference. I need to look it up to get the specifics, but it's like when you hear people like advocate for I don't want to say jihad, but like,
Kill
you know,
all white men.
yeah, like bombing
say
something
shit.
or killing something. Like, you know, like you hear Trump all the time say like we're gonna bomb this and that, but he doesn't get in trouble for that. You know,
Well,
there is,
he is the president. He can.
or even when he
Yeah.
was a candidate, or even a businessman, like, or even if you and I said, like, there is a difference. I need to look it up. Maybe I can find it. There is a difference. It makes sense when when you see it explained.
Yeah. So here, whoever organizes or helps or attempts to organize any society, group, or assembly of persons who teach, advocate, or encourage the overthrow or destruction of any such government by force or violence, or becomes or is a member of or affiliates with any such society, group, or assembly of persons, knowing the purposes thereof, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years or both, and shall be ineligible for employment by the United States or any department or agency thereof for the 5 years next following this conviction.
I think
There's serious penalties that are involved.
Well, there's
in some
another
shit like this
part about, like, in U.S. code, it is illegal to knowingly and willfully make any threat to life or kidnap or inflict bodily harm upon the President of the United States. Yep. And I think the word I was looking for was incite. You cannot incite people to, like...
Well, here's the thing. So with most of these laws, you have to show intent.
Yes.
Like, you have to show intent, like, for these crimes to be committed. So when you're talking about, like, Madonna saying she threatened, like, she feels like she's gonna, there's no real intent to that. It's just, she's just blabbing a whole bunch of shit in front of a mic, right? Nobody's gonna take that old bag seriously. But with this, they literally have signs and they're marching. And they have big old yellow letters, overthrow, right? There's no doubt. Like, you're on camera.
There's no clear and present danger with the Madonna thing. And with this, there is. Here's the term for it, actually. It's called inciting imminent lawless action. Speech that incites imminent lawless action was originally banned under the weaker, clear and present danger test established by Schneck versus United States, but this test has since been overturned by the imminent lawless action test established in Brandenburg versus Ohio. Yeah,
I think that Donald Trump's not trying to do any of this. He's not trying to do any of this. Because I think they want to see how crazy this fucking shit gets. Because one, I mean, there's really not much. I mean, to, like, I wouldn't, if I was Donald Trump, I probably wouldn't do anything about this fucking shit either. One, because it's in democratic cities. Fuck them. Two, you want people to see how crazy these fucking people really are. Like, you really want to. There's been a lot of shit. There's been a lot of shit that's been happening. And I just want to say, and then I think after the election would be the right time to start cracking down on some of these fuckers, right? You really, like, once you realize that you're going to be president for the next fucking 4 years, then it's time to start turning these fucking screws on these assholes.
Did you see what I posted in House?
Yeah, I saw that. Another thing I fucking found, like, there was an article under that fucking student pad project.
Yeah, what is that?
They want to go and, like, make fucking tampons and shit in rural India. It's just, like, so fucking random.
That is really
random. I think India has more pressing concerns right now than the access to tampons and stuff. When you have, like, people gang raping people on, buses, and, like, and a looming potential war with China. I'm not saying that, like, that's not important, but,
priorities. It's my favorite word, priorities. Also, to go back to those Black Lives Matter pictures, there's one woman holding a sign. It's probably the dumbest one. It says, and this is all like in big, caps. Now, look in my eyes and say, I don't matter.
Someone's just going like,
You don't matter. How does that sound?
Yeah, like let's be
No,
real. Like, how many people?
No one fucking
really
look.
matters?
Look, no one fucking matters in this world. Okay, there. How's that sound? No, I'm saying, like why would you like? What's the fucking like? What's the fucking point of creating these retarded ass signs?
Yeah,
Like,
what's this protest accomplished except that somebody took pictures of they did chalking on the street, which I think is technically illegal. I know you're not allowed to chalk on campus. Penn State's one of the few campuses where that's banned, but they chalked on the fucking street.
Do that before. I've seen them chalk on campus.
You're not allowed to. I learned that in 2016. You are not allowed to at all.
When I saw them do, I think they wrote like "fuck Trump."
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's technically not allowed, but it's progressive, so we'll let it slide.
Yeah.
But they also held a vigil at the Martin Luther King Jr. Plaza, and here's where my fun story comes in. My crazy story is one of my, I don't want to out him, so I'm just gonna say one of my friends who just happens to be conservative. He went to this to see what it was all about. And oh god, this looks so stupid. These fucking vigils. And god, they even use a small picture for that's sad. So he was at it, just like chilling in the back, seeing what was going on and telling us, what it was like and how cringy it was and stupid. And suddenly he hears this guy like because they were all giving speeches, like everybody's giving their own little speech. And all of a sudden, he hears somebody shout out in the distance, "All lives matter, Trump 2020."
Oh my god!
Oh,
so
Jesus.
we had some fucking like Chad here, like shouting so shouting out over their vigil. And they mentioned it in this Collegian article. That's great. And what they don't mention in this article is what happened next. Is the people at the vigil turned to my friend and they were like, "Get the fuck out of here, that shit, man. Fuck you. What the fuck you saying that here for, you fucker?" He didn't say it. They were blaming him for something he didn't even say.
Yeah, it's fine. They want to pretend to be the party of like, not prejudging people, but they just fucking did.
They just did. And the thing too is, and I'm not making this up, he took video of it, which is great. I can find it and send it to you guys. You hear the guy that's shouting it, like it's way in the distance. And I mean way. Like you can tell it's like, I think the guy was probably in his apartment or something shouting it. And then while they're accusing my friend of shouting it, you still hear the fucker shouting it again and again. And they keep accusing him. I'm like, you people are like so up your own asses. Like, how do you not? Like, that's just so wrong.
See, this is why I wish we had like a fucking like web article our own like web article platform just to go and like make shit like these people are stupid.
Yeah,
I mean, we got podcasts, but like just write some shit real quick. Boom.
Like a bigger platform where people like know about this stuff too. I mean, maybe that's something we could run up to campus reform, but it's like that's pretty bad. I mean, I'm trying to word this well, but like I think some of these people literally looked around, they saw, oh, look, white guy, he said it. Because these people are genuinely racist, like some of these Black Lives Matter people. I mean, well, the whole movement's fucking racist, in my opinion. I mean, and it's made the country more racist, which is what really disgusts me about it. But like,
well, it's all about money too. I mean, it's like
the people behind the scenes, yes.
Yeah, like with colleges, like they don't give a shit. They're just they don't give a shit about, they're trying to push heavy with with like the sociology and the urban you know, and the urban majors or whatever, to like, they're trying to make sure that all of the diversity quotas are fucking met as far as admissions and graduations are concerned. So like, there's not a whole lot of, um, there's not a whole lot of diverse graduations that go on in like the engineering fields and all that stuff. So they need to push the numbers out, but they need, like, in order to do that, they need some like easier majors. And like, and I'm not saying that, like, and this comes from, and I'm not saying that they can't let, like, minorities can't do it, you know, can't do stuff like engineering majors and stuff like that. It's that they're not being, like, the wrong people, like, especially within the African American community, the wrong people are glorified. Like, you have people like LeBron James that are people are trying to emulate LeBron James. Who the fuck is going to have LeBron James's unique God-given athletic ability, right? He has, like nobody has that. Like, that's unrealistic to like try to dream to be like the next LeBron James. That's unrealistic because their body types are just not meant to be that unique, right? What about or like rapper, like trying to be a rapper or like a YouTuber? You know what the biggest, the most desired profession is outside of the United States is either an astronaut or an engineer, right? Yeah, like, you know, nobody, or doctor or doctor.
Yeah. And
they
that's
don't
why,
teach.
you know, Scott Adams made a great point about when the Kaepernick ad. Do you remember that Kaepernick ad where there was like this dude on a skateboard and he kept like trying to go down this rail and he kept falling and like nearly like killing himself? And Kaepernick's message was like, never quit, just keep going. And Scott Adams like ripped it to shreds because he's like, it's so stupid. Like, you're trying to do this one stupid thing that almost kills yourself and ruins all your chances of success. But hey, you can go down a railing on a skateboard. And he also mentions like aspiring to be like an athlete, like you were saying, is a stupid aspiration because only like 1% of the population,
1/10 of 1% of the United States,
yeah,
will actually be a successful professional athlete.
Yeah, it's really down to luck of your genetics. And yeah, there's hard work and all the stuff that goes on to it, but like your odds of being successful in that are so slim. You're better off doing what everybody else is doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you work hard, you could be an engineer, you could be an astronaut, you could be whatever. Like you can be a doctor. You could be a doctor. Like, you have to put in the work.
Not necessarily. Like, there is a certain like they go and look this up. Like, IQ, there's a lot of it that's inherited. Like, you can be good at something, but like become an astronaut. Like, some people, you know, like at that level of like physics and all that other shit, like, you might not be able to do that, but you can do something else.
You can still do something productive. You can still do something that's good for society. You just need to find your place that works for you.
But there are a few bit. There are, but it's like anything. Like, look, not everybody can do it, but there's a lot of smart people. There's a lot of smart people out there, and they have the ability, they have the aptitude to be able to do it if they apply themselves. The problem is people want to emulate people that they know, right? If I don't know about Ben Carson, how the fuck do I want to be like him, right? You're talking about the greatest neurosurgeon maybe in the world history, right? He's an African American, and he just so happens to be a Republican and in the Trump administration. So people want to bury him and want as few people to know about him as possible. But again, this is one of the greatest neurosurgeons this world has ever known. Like, people all over the world are doing surgeries that this man did first, right? That's something that, you know, you could do, right? That's something that like you can strive to be like without and still be a doctor. Like you could strive to be like him, and even if you don't make it, you'll still be a doctor, right? There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Like if you're a professional athlete and you don't make it into the majors, what happens? Like it's just like nothing, right? It's like if you don't make it, there's no minor league circuit for you to like live comfortably off of, right? Even if in the majors, right? Like like in the majors, when you look at like the NFL, right? The NFL minimum I think is $495,000 a year for a roster spot, like a 53-man roster spot for one of the 32 teams. You make it to the practice squad, and the minimum I think is $128,000 a year or something like that.
That's pretty good,
right? But again, there's only, I want to say there's only 11 spots on the practice squad. There's no minor league football team, so if you don't make that, you're fucked basically.
Do you Alex, remember the State College Borough Council?
Oh yeah, I remember those fuckers.
Remember when we crashed one of their meetings?
Yeah.
They're doing Zoom meetings now.
Oh my god, I just want to do that again.
Imagine if somebody Zoom bombed.
It was the one person who said something. Oh man, that was funny. But
They
now,
said
like,
something about the Holocaust.
You mentioned like about the minorities like not doing well in engineering. That's not entirely true. That's true.
No, it's not. It's not that they can't do well. It's not that they can't do well, and it's not like the few people that aren't in don't do well. It's that there's not enough of people that are in those fucking programs.
That's not even true. Too. Look how many like Asian people are in fucking like there, and technically,
I majored. Look, I originally majored in computer engineering. When I was doing the basic, when in the first year that I was in, when I was doing the basic course load for engineering, I ran into maybe only five black people, and only 2 of them were actually African American. The rest of them, I think the 2 of them were from Nigerian, and the other one was like, and now I'm talking,
but black's not the only minority though.
There's also not a lot of black people at Penn State.
Like Asian and Indian, I think that
right. So you get people from India, you get some people from India, but they're from India. They're not here. They're like foreign students here, right?
International students.
They're not, like I'm saying, I'm talking about people here. Like I get what you're saying, and that's accurate too.
Even Indian and Asian Americans, they do flock to STEM. It's mostly like black and Hispanic Americans that, they kind of stem away from that.
I think Penn State had like some statistics on the demographic breakdowns by major.
Yeah, and I think like because when I was in ISC, there's a shit ton of like Asian.
Oh yeah, there were mine too.
Asian, yeah. There was a lot of Asians, but I'm saying like.
Well, yeah, non-Asian minorities. Yeah, I get what you're saying. But I think there is a distinct. Like you have to make that distinction,
right? And also consider the fact that there are not a lot of. I mean, actually, I think the smallest minority is probably Hispanics at Penn State. I mean, I barely saw any, and yet there are more Hispanics in the country than blacks. And
how many of them are in Pennsylvania?
That's a good question. Well, actually, I think it's a decent chunk.
Outside of Philly?
Let me check. Let me check.
I mean, there's some here, but it's not like, DC or like Texas or something.
Let me see.
But I'm sorry. But the overall thing I'm saying is like, look, if you think you're gonna bitch about wealth equality and you're spending $500,000 on a fucking sociology degree where you're only going to make $60,000 a year, you deserve to be poor. I'm sorry. It's just a bad decision. It's a bad fucking decision.
Anything with fucking studies in its name, you should probably consider.
Yeah.
Second.
Yeah.
God, I was gonna think that's something I was gonna talk about off air because. Let's see. Census, Pennsylvania.
Oh There was something I posted somewhere earlier, I thought.
See, Pennsylvania is 81% white, 12% black. Asians alone, 3.8%. 2 or more races, 2%. Hispanic, almost 8%. It's almost 8% Hispanic, which is, I guess so we do have more blacks here than Hispanics, which makes sense because of Philly has a lot of black people.
Well, it's just like cities in general. Like, I don't know why they've, like, just
Well,
minorities.
not all.
Just
I mean,
black people, but like minorities in general, with the exception of maybe Hispanics. Even then, they still tend to flock to cities.
did you see? Here's a fun headline from the Collegian. University police looking into incident regarding Arboretum fountain. University police is investigating. Shouldn't it be R? University police is investigating an incident that occurred at Penn State Arboretum, where they believe that the fountain was filled up with detergents.
I saw it on the Reddit.
Soap or something similar. Oh, I seen on a post from a Penn State Reddit account. They consider it an act of vandalism. How's that vandalism?
You can fuck it up pretty bad.
You could set up the whole fucking arboretum with some shit like that. Like if it's a fountain that's like
the motor.
Yeah, I mean you can fuck up the motor too, but I'm saying
just a
like
prank, bro.
It is, but it's like well, in a place where, you know, plant life is supposed to be embraced.
Cherished. Plant lives matter.
Yes. That act of vandalism must not be tolerated at all. Ever.
Plant lives matter. And I love the Arboretum, but like I just found this story like probably one. It's odd. It's like one of those stories that you're like, oh, I never expect that would happen at Penn State.
Well, apparently it's like not uncommon for people to go and do that to the fountain in general. Yeah, because it's easy to do. Just put like fucking soap in there.
That's true.
Like concentrate, and it'll set up. Like I remember when I was in like high school, I was like a fucking dumbass, and there was this like fish tank, and there was like a thing of like concentrated soap next to it. You know, my buddy's like, how you finally got like do like a little tiny. You can really fuck up something with that.
Man, what happened to you? Now you're a good boy, working, making money, with a house.
Man, I was a terrible fucking kid in high school. Like I'm not gonna lie, man. It's like every year I got in trouble for something. Usually multiple things.
Speaking of schooling and being good and bad boys, oh god, there's 2 stories I thought of. Well, number one, we haven't talked about probably the biggest story of the day yet, which is that Amy Coney Barrett was nominated by President Trump to fill the Supreme Court vacancy.
Who is Amy Coney Barrett?
That is a good question. Because, well, first of all, she did graduate like top of her class, so that's why it made me think of it. At Notre Dame school, or law school, I mean, and I've always wondered how she got here so quickly.
No, she was like, well, she was in the top of her class, so obviously
that does help.
That tends to put you in a very good position.
Was she in a sorority?
Oh God, that means
she met
20 guys cocks.
She graduated.
Yeah,
she graduated what, magna cum laude or something.
Phi Delta Kappa.
Like
and magna cum laude.
Like I know people are like, "Oh, I was in a sorority." Like every time I hear someone say they're in a sorority, I'm like, "Please don't tell me that," because now I just have so much preconceptions about the shit you did.
Yeah, we'll talk about
fraternities and sororities.
Look, I don't have prejudices against any racial or genders out there, but I do have prejudices against frats and sororities.
Like Jesus, man, there's a reason why they call them sororities at Penn State. Like I'm sure not all of them are probably always like that, but
wow.
Look, so ACB, she graduated her bachelor's. She graduated with a bachelor's of arts.
You'll show my BA.
She has a BA. Magna cum laude, which means you're at the top of the fucking heap, right? And then graduated with her JD summa cum laude. So she's like really fucking intelligent when it comes to this fucking law thing. She got full tuition scholarship. Like, look, I mean, it's impressive. It's like her college experience is really impressive. And then you go, with the clerkship for, Judge Silberman, and then for Justice Antonin Scalia, and all of them gave great reviews, great recommendations. And then she went into teaching, went to become a professor back at, all, like, she had academic work that has been published in, Columbia, Cornell.
I'm not
like,
gonna
she's had
lie. I actually, and I'm not saying this just to be trolly, but I legit think the sororities would help her the most, because if you go on Pi Beta Kappa's Wikipedia page, at the bottom it says notable members since its inception: 17 U.S. presidents, 40 U.S. Supreme Court justices, and 136 notable latres have been inducted members. 40 Supreme Court justices.
Wait. So it's a sorority, but is it like one of those like intersex ones, or is it like one of those like not really?
It's an academic honor society.
Okay, see, that's completely different.
Yeah,
Like they probably don't do like elephant walks.
When you see a name like Pi Beta Kappa, you instantly think sorority or frat. Like, that's why I thought that when I saw it. Who knows what they actually did? They might do worse things. You don't know.
Oh, yeah, they probably like rig elections and stuff like that. But at least they don't do elephant walks or like
that
whatever.
You know of.
Like 40 girls, I've looked up shit online and I've like talked to people. Man, they do some like, as bad as fraternities are, sorority girls do some pretty weird shit.
Like what?
Like they had this one that got busted for like they make you watch like lesbian porn, then put like a paper towel under you, and if you got wet, you'd be kicked out.
The fuck?
That was like their initiation. Then like I know some at Penn State had a point system where like you had to get like 20 something points, and like you got 5 points for banging a Greek member, like another like a fraternity. Like I think it was like 5 points if it was like one of the high tier frats, like 3 points if it was like a shit tier frat, and like 1 point for just a random person. You had to get like 20 some points.
That's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie.
So it was like you had to bang like 4 to 5 people at the minimum to get in there.
That's so thoughty. That's so like you could get so competitive with that. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Imagine if frats did that.
The frats said no. They do shit like elephant walks and like
So
liquor.
they're just gay.
Yeah.
Frats are gay and sororities are thoughty.
Like, see if like that's why you like that. That's reward for guys. For girls, it's like it's like debasing. In the similar way to like a guy having a thumb shoved up his ass.
That's true.
Sort of thought.
Well, when you look on this honor society, you know who else was in it other than Amy Bear? It was Pete Buttigieg, Ben Shapiro, Heidi Cruz, and I saw some other ones. Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers.
Oh boy.
Jimmy Carter. And who else is on here? Kellyanne Conway. That's interesting.
Yeah, but
did someone say Jimmy Carter?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Here,
Sam's in the house.
Sam's here. We got a fucking party
Jeff
now.
Bezos, Susan Rice, Dinesh D'Souza.
Oh god, that guy! You want to talk about like grifters in the fucking conservative movement? Let me tell you about that one.
Yeah, he would give me an autograph.
Want me to sign anything? Remember when he fucking came to Penn State? Like, oh, you want me to sign anything? You have to go and like give me $20 to buy my shitty DVD about Obama's America. I never even read that. I just had it, and it's like I'm gonna end up watching it at some point. So I don't give a fuck about that guy. But
I remember that. I remember it really well. George Stephanopoulos. I'm gonna stop soon, but like Sonia Sotomayor, John Roberts, Susan Collins. Jesus, the people in this thing. Christy Hefner, like it's not Jeb Bush.
Oh god, they must not set the bar very high.
Can you imagine Jeb in rushing a frat?
No, I can't see him like in any sort of frat unless he might be in as like a legacy or something. It's like George or like other George was in there. And
Yeah,
it
they
was like,
probably
okay,
got him in. Like, that's the only way he get to a frat. Like, one of his like brothers, like, got him in.
yeah, but like, okay, George, okay, Jeb, you can butt chug. Like, it just make you do like the most disturbing things. Like, that's going to torture this like semi special needs guy.
I was
Wow.
the Yo, he's in the Knights of Columbus. He would be.
Jeb,
Yeah, Jeb.
I thought that was a Catholic group. I didn't think he was Catholic.
It's a fraternal like Catholic thing.
Yeah. Like I know people who are in there. Like
Me
it's
too.
Well, Gavin is in the fucking Knights of Columbus.
He
it's
is.
like it's
Yeah.
my fucking grandfather. I think he tried. Like he was in there for a little bit, but they were doing some really shady shit with the raffle tickets.
Oh boy.
And like the people in there were just being dicks to me. So he's like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this anymore."
So I guess that's
That-
the closest thing Jeb is to like any like frat or secret societies in Knights of Columbus. Other than that, it's like, dude, he ain't got shit.
That's a Columbus ain't a fucking frat or a secret society.
It's
like,
a frat. It says it on there.
It's not a frat though. It's like youth group, but for older people.
It says on Wikipedia, Knights of Columbus is a global Catholic fraternal service order.
Okay, but it's not like it's not like they're butt chugging shit. It's like it's like a fucking youth group, like a male oriented youth group.
We'll have to do a deep dive. We'll infiltrate this one too, and then we can find out the truth.
Like I was interested. Like I know like this one guy. I used to be Facebook friends with him. He's like some sort of like Knight of Columbus. Like he's a little bit odd. Like he actually is autistic, but he's like a really cool guy. But like, yeah, I think you know who I'm talking about, maybe.
I might.
Been, like,
Anyway,
like he's like communist shit.
Anyway, Amy Barrett. I'm warming up to her. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really warming up to her, and part of the biggest reason that I'm kind of cool with her is because I had a weird conundrum where on the one hand, I thought Lagoa was the best strategic pick, but Barrett pisses the left off more. And I'm like, ooh, that's
well, we
tempting.
knew it. We knew she would. We knew that ACB would absolutely piss the left off even more because she is a originalist. Like
That's not what pisses them off the most. What pisses them off the most is she's Catholic. They hate.
Yeah,
Joe Biden is Catholic.
Yes, but they're framing her as a wacky religious nut. She's
Okay.
anti-abortion.
Yeah,
She's...
they're not going to be able to get her on anything. Like, sure, her record is clean, is Kavanaugh clean. The only problem is they're gonna come after her Catholic faith.
Yes.
They're gonna come after her Catholic faith.
While they're running a Catholic person to be the fucking president.
Oh, yeah.
And they also had like JFK. That was a fucking Democrat.
Well, yeah, and
Yeah.
this is a stupid attack. Like, you don't attack people's faith unless it's fucking like radical Islam or like some weird shit like Scientology.
You're running a current Catholic candidate to be fucking president. Like, it's so stupid. I'd love to see them do that.
I know it's so they're putting themselves in a stupid bind, but they're gonna paint her as basically the Handmaid's Tale. She's just like, the Republicans are just. She's not really for women. She says she is, but she wants to take your abortion rights away, and she wants to take your health care. Like that's what they're gonna frame her as a crazy Catholic that wants to take away abortion and health care. That's the exact frame.
You're trying to say something, Sammy?
Well, I have a theory that if they do go after the Catholic thing, we're gonna see right around the time that whole thing starts. I bet you anything we're going to see another surge of Catholics like pedo scandals coming out.
That's an interesting thought.
I don't know about that. I think what the right should do if they start going after her is start going after their fucking presidential candidate right then.
Demand he support Amy Barrett because they're both Catholic. As a Catholic, Joe Biden should endorse Amy Barrett.
No, I'd go and say, hey, everything that you said about Amy Barrett, you can say that about Joe Biden because he's a fucking Catholic. So if they try to do that, that can be reversaled against them.
What other strategy are they gonna play though? Because I don't think this is gonna be the only thing they're gonna hit her on. Like there's also these ties to these other like religious groups she has, and I think they're gonna do some guilt by association. Like, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about her, and that's why I didn't know a whole lot about Lagoya, and that's why I was just guessing it could be Lagoa.
Sam and I were talking about this before the show. I think it's they're. I mean, obviously they're gonna try to do with the Judiciary Committee or whatever. The 4 people are gonna try their best to do whatever they can, but I don't think that the conservatives are going to do a whole are going to give a shit. They're going to have this one round table where they're all going to question her, and then they're just going to go straight to the fucking vote. It's not going to be like Kavanaugh. Like Kavanaugh, I think they gave like Grassley did an excellent job in trying to, like when
Smear
when they tried to do the Christine Blasey Ford thing, he did a really good job in trying to bring her in and trying to give her like have her participate in questions with like a rape a counselor or like a some sort of counselor who has experience, and like he did his homework to make sure that like she was taken care of in her questioning and took the time, and they took the necessary steps. I don't think you're getting that this time around. I think the conservatives are like, fuck it, you had your shot. You ran all over us last time. Fuck you. We're gonna do the one round of questioning. As soon as that's done, we're going right to the vote and eat a dick.
Well, with that said,
that's pretty much how that thing's gonna go.
I think last week we were both in agreement that this would be 100 times worse than Kavanaugh. Do we still think that?
Yeah. So for those 4, yes. For those 4 people in the Judiciary Committee, because you realize it's five GOP, 4 Democrats. Those 4 are gonna really make shit difficult. They're gonna really make shit difficult. Well, they're gonna try. I don't even think, even with Kavanaugh, I still don't think it was as they behaved as bad as they will this time around. I just think that the other 5 are not going to give as much of a shit as they did last time. So that will basically counterbalance anything that.
I think the bigger difference here too is something Shan Breen brought up on Fox tonight, which is that with Kavanaugh, you were kind of replacing a moderate with a moderate. It really wasn't like a radical. I mean, it was a change to the core. Like I still think there's no denying that, but it wasn't like a super radical change. Now we are filling a vacancy of a hardcore leftist with a
you're replacing
hardcore conservative.
Yeah, that's.
It's
I think
night
that,
and day.
Yeah. But I don't think there's anything they can do. There's nothing that they can do, and so I mean I feel like those 4, and I'm going back to those 4. They're going to do everything they can. They're going to try. You're going to see a whole bunch of bullshit like you've never seen. But I also think that the GOP is not going to give a shit. Like they would be like, because that look. They had their chance, and they fucked up with Kavanaugh. Like the liberals fucked up with Kavanaugh. Like they put him through the fucking ringer, and because of that, and they overplayed their hand, and now it's like it set them up for this. It set them up for this very moment to where everything, even if they had something interesting, they're probably going to get the liberals are probably going to get discounted at every turn, and deservedly so, because of the way that they treated Kavanaugh.
Also, interestingly, if you look on Wikipedia, the vote to confirm her to the, I think it was the 7th District Court.
Yeah.
It says the vote was a 55 to 43 in confirmation, obviously. There were 3 Democrats that voted for her. Joe Donnelly, Tim Kaine, and Joe Manchin. Nobody remember Tim Kaine?
Yeah.
Back as Hillary's
so
VP?
that's another thing, and that's another interesting point you bring up too, Sean. There's going to be like Joe Manchin and them. There's going to be seats that are going to be contested, like in these moderate areas, that if you start playing these fucking games, you're going to hurt your chances of getting reelected. That, you know, I think it might actually. I think there's a good chance that this vote could be clean. Like it could be a clean confirmation. Just because the fact that this election is happening, right? It's happening in an election, right in the heart of an election cycle. And I don't think and like with Joe Manchin, you're not going to risk getting or even Doug Jones, even though I think Doug Jones will vote against, just because I think he realizes
he's already said he's going to vote against.
Yeah, he has zero chance of staying in that fucking seat. Like he has no godforsaken chance in hell of fucking keeping that seat. It didn't matter if it was Tuberville or it was Sessions. They're beating the shit out of him in that fucking Senate race. So, but I think you're gonna see. I think Manchin might vote yes to confirm, just because one, he did it before, and two, he's got a hot seat. So, and then
I will say too, I don't. It depends on how his re-election's looking, how he's gonna vote. I think they're gonna hit her on this. There is this group that she was involved with called People of Praise. I don't know exactly what is good or bad or ugly about it, but if you are watching like what the left-wing media is saying, they're bringing this up a lot. They brought up back in 2017 when she was on, you know, trying to get confirmed to the district courts. I think they're going to dive more into this group and other groups she's involved with, but I think there's going to be, I don't want to call it an October surprise, but we're approaching October, so I guess we'll call it that. I think there's going to be an October surprise, but they're going to pull something on her, some sort of group she was involved with, something she said in the past, something she's associated with that's going to look, they're going to try and make it look bad.
It's not going to be a surprise. We know it's happening. Like we're counting on it to happen, right? We are absolutely counting on it. But again, like I don't think anybody on the right's really, truly, honestly going to give a shit. Like this is a woman with a stellar fucking record, and I'm not gonna, and I don't think that the GOP is got not only because ACB has a really good record, but because what they did to Kavanaugh, it's like no, fuck you guys, we're putting her in.
Did you see they've already made Notorious ACB shirts?
Yes. Part of me wants to get one.
Part of me wants to too. The only reason I'm not is because it donates. You have to donate to Senate Republicans, and I can't do that.
I don't want to do that.
You donate? Oh yeah, I want. Oh yeah, not doing that.
Is there any way I could just get it on Amazon? Seriously, guys.
Yeah, I want an Amazon ripoff, like no joke. Like if this was a Trump campaign,
I will take the Amazon I will take the Jeff Bezos knockoff just to keep from paying the Senate.
Yeah, dude, go to Wish. Go to Wish, you can find it there.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
did you guys know you? This may be a little off topic, but did you guys know you can turn on your webcams on Discord?
Well, couldn't you do? You could do that before, right? Oh, you couldn't do it in the server chats.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do it like in like DM. Like if I were to, let's say, like call Alex here, I could like do a video chat. But yeah, now they've been rolling it out for servers that you can do it in the server like chat rooms, which is really a long time coming. Like that's when we were trying to do like when we were doing Turning Point meetings when the pandemic hit. I wanted to do them on Discord, but Discord didn't let you do this shit.
This is cool. I've got my webcam on right now.
There it is. Yep. Sammy is going all out.
I've never seen Phil's face. I've seen Sean's.
Fucking ugly, man. You don't want to see my face.
Yes, we do. Well, shave it a bit, and then you look like the good old Phil.
I did shave a little bit. I did shave the beard a little bit.
What?
Oh,
You didn't see it? You didn't see it? It did like.
Dude, you had a
Oh
fucking
no, I had
on.
mask. I did have a mask on. Yeah.
Dude, because you
Um,
should have seen Phil.
Mask while you're like fucking shaving, man.
I had one of those. I have one of those masks that like surrounds the fucking. It's like one of those damn near whole face mask, like one of those lower face masks, like where they.
Do you have a net gator like I do?
Yeah.
That's what I.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
Well,
yeah, I was just sick of those fucking hospital masks. I'm like, I'm done with this shit.
I think though, I think that video feature's been here a while though. Maybe it's like takes time for each server because they don't sometimes roll it out to all servers at once.
Speaking of masks, though, I
Uh-oh.
no longer have to.
Oh, you got coronavirus?
No.
You got a medical exemption?
Nope.
Your campus? Oh, you're not in school anymore? You're online?
I live in a state that says you no longer. Well,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Florida. Fucking Florida.
Yeah,
man.
fucking Florida, man.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't like the Supreme Court tell Governor Wolf like his regulations were bullshit?
Yeah,
Yeah, they did.
yeah, they did. But he's a piece of shit, so he's gonna keep those things on anyway.
How can you do that if the Supreme Court says no? I thought that's kind of like,
Kind of like you can't do that.
He's gonna fight. He's gonna fight it tooth and nail because he's like, just like Governor Whitmer. He's a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm. Dude, that's the thing I noticed too, and other people have noticed this too. There is before the pandemic shutdowns, for some reason people were okay with Wolf. I never was, but for some reason people were. Ever since he shut shit down and kept it shut down for longer than need be, there is a growing hatred of Wolf I've never seen. I see more people hate on Wolf than Joe Biden. Okay?
Yeah.
That tells you something right there. And it's because, again, it's what affects people.
Well, I
That's
don't
what they
think.
feel.
Well, here's my thing. Here's what I gather. I don't think people gave a shit as much because we have a Republican House and Senate. So they didn't care as much. It's not that they really so much liked or disliked Wolf. It's that they didn't really care because they had the Republican government to back up on. But like Wolf fucked up. I mean, he fucked up this last year.
But I've heard people literally tell me, like Republicans tell me, like, "Oh yeah, I didn't think Wolf did that bad of a job." Or I mean, some cuck Republicans will tell you, like, "Yeah, I voted for Wolf because I thought he did a good job." But like some of your typical Republicans, like, will be like, look, indifferent on him.
Scott Wagner
was shit.
Did not help himself at all.
Yeah, when he wanted to stomp Wolf of golf shoes.
I'm like, what the fuck were you thinking? Oh my god.
What
was that, Alex?
I thought it was pretty funny.
It
was funny, but it was bad. It was so bad that you laughed. It's like the worst thing, because that was when they were framing. Remember the whole "Jobs Not Mob" slogan? That was when that was going around. And then fucking Scott Wagner literally threatens to stomp Wolf in the face with spiked golf shoes.
Like, you can tell that's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's not. I don't think so.
Well, I mean, but it looked bad. It's just the optics of it just looked terrible. Even if it was just like if it was a joke, you kind of have to sell it like it's a joke. It looked when he said it, it looked weird. It looked real fucking weird, like real cringe. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like,
I can't believe when you Google Scott Wagner, literally you scroll down and it shows videos. The first video is him winning the Republican nomination. The second, third, fourth, maybe a sixth video is him threatening Wolf that he's going to stomp on his face with golf spikes. Like, literally, that is what follows him, and it's what everybody learned about him, and it's what everybody remembers him for, because he's an idiot for saying that. And on top of it, you know, I think there's some like domestic abuse like charges against him or something. Like there's some really bad stuff that made you like that came up like when those allegations when that statement came out, and you kind of go, okay, maybe this wasn't a joke or anything.
Oh, here's the thing too. It's like, Wolf, like his first term or whatever, he was doing pretty good. Like, I think it'd be tough to unseat him. This stuff didn't help any, but I think it was an uphill battle to begin with.
Well, you need like just like any other fucking race, you need a good enough candidate to really go up against them. Like, you can't just have a shitty candidate go up and just because he's a conservative, you're like, oh, we got this in the back. No, that's not how politics works, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to win a seat, you need a candidate good enough to fucking win.
Yep. Here's the thing I was mentioning too, in personal life. Okay, this tells you a lot right from the first sentence. Wagner has been married, not one, not two, but how about 4 fucking times?
Okay, we're gonna go on that. Let's look at
Trump. I mean, Trump has been married 3 times. So.
But that's a bit. First of all, it's 3, 4. It's a fucking lot.
What's the difference? What's one more divorce?
Well, because Wagner is younger than Trump. He's 65.
Yeah, but
not much. I mean,
and also he's not a fucking billionaire surrounded by supermodels and porn stars. A little bit of a difference. Also,
the temptation isn't there for Scott Wagner.
It's not. Like, let's be real.
Like it's for Donald Trump, it's like, gorgeous supermodels and then hot porn stars or whatever. For Scott Wagner, it's a fucking Craigslist prostitute at a gas station or something.
Oh yeah, like let's be fair. Who's to be going after like the dump man? That's like sound like fucking like Charlie from Always Sunny. It's like someone
that's like.
Well, do you want to hear his history?
Get over here in the gas station. Here, come here and suck my dick. Oh, goddamn it.
Oh, you want to hear his history? It says his marriages were to legal secretary Candy Overlander, a receptionist Eileen.
Candy. What did she marry? He married a Candy. That's already disqualifying. What the fuck?
Okay, like
that's like what? That's a stripper name. That's like. Coming to the stage next, it's Candy.
and his receptionist Ellen Beecher, translator Sylvia Rodriguez, which ended in divorce. Following his divorce from Rodriguez in 2012, Wagner married former trucking company owner Tracy Higgs in 2014.
Oh, Jesus.
That's a business move right there, because the garbage.
That's called a business partnership.
Like see, that's smart. Like that's 4D chess.
It is not. He had 2 daughters, and then Catherine. Which one was this? Which one was fucking Catherine? Okay, I guess this is the 4th one. Filed a protection from abuse order against them in 2006. But no charges were filed. They later reconciled that she had been employed for him for several years and worked on his Senate campaign.
It's good old Scott Wagner chivalry here.
Now,
talking here. You go get my beer and I will punch you in the face. How about that?
There's more to it. I forget what the allegations were, but I can find it. But there's a redeeming category. Actually, I shouldn't make that joke because it's going to get me in trouble.
What?
Anti-Semitism controversies.
Of course. Yeah, this guy's... I don't know. Joking. Like, my friend used to work for his garbage company. Like, it's always treated pretty good. Oh, yeah.
He goes...
I mean, they kept him. He got a couple of DUIs, and they still kept him on. So, I mean,
And to be very clear...
Is he going to campaign, and then all of a sudden he goes full fucking Louis Farrakhan? Let me tell you something about the Jews.
No, it gets better. And I was joking, to be very clear. If anybody takes out fucking context, I was joking. In 2017, Wagner denounced. This is under anti-Semitism, by the way. Wagner denounced billionaire, businessman, and political donor George Soros, and then Wikipedia puts in parentheses here, a U.S. citizen since 1961. And
okay,
then,
like how's that even fucking? Who likes George Soros? Yeah, maybe the Nazis liked him because he gave out all the Jews' names during the Holocaust. But
well, the sentence continues with it says Wagner denounced him as a quote Hungarian Jew who has a quote hatred for America.
I mean,
is he wrong?
well, he is Hungarian.
And he does hate
Hungarian,
America.
Yeah.
And then it says Wagner rejected calls from Jewish and Christian clergy asking him to apologize for the remarks. There you go. Stands his ground, pretty based. And the Democratic Party in the state denounced his comics as anti-Semitic. In September 2018, this is the best part. This is the redeeming part. Wagner cited an anonymously anecdote circulating on the conspiratorial website InfoWars.
yes, see, I like it.
It complained that, quote, America is becoming a nation of victims where every Tom Ricardo and Hasid is part of a special group with special rights.
Fuck.
Dude, he's like, no, I actually.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like most of that shit is accurate, but man, if you're trying to run for fucking governor of Pennsylvania, that might not be in your best interest to, you know.
But like, come on, man. I met him once because he spoke at the CR meetings. But if I had known he had cited InfoWars articles,
Like, holy fuck, he's getting my vote. Goddamn it!
I did vote for him. Oh God, did I vote for him? I can't remember. I think I did vote for. Fuck, I think I did vote for him, and it wasn't because I wanted to. It's because I just didn't like Wolf. Fucking A though. It's like InfoWars. Amazing.
Yeah, see, like, he's a fucking info warrior, man. Like, I give him that.
So Alex Jones endorsed him, but the lizard people didn't. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Vote for Wagner. It's a vote against the lizard people. Look at this face. Is this the face of an info warrior? Like, look at this guy. Is that an info warrior?
It looks
I could see it.
It looks like somebody who fucking locks women up in his basement. And
Okay, well, that's a photograph, you know. But he kind of has that frame of Alex Jones, you know.
He does. He has the stance. He's got the Texan like build, kind of. He's got the.
I could see it.
The stance.
Alex Jones 2.0. He's the clown.
He's got the closet rapist murderer look on him. Like he's on the wrong end of a fucking ID channel documentary. Like they're fucking.
That's great. I like that.
I could see some mugshots coming out of that face.
Yeah, he's like,
That's mugshot worthy.
See on the sex registry. He's like Megan's up.
Like he bludgeoned and raped multiple women. In a fucking cellar in his backyard.
Yeah,
Well, he is from York County, so
I know that's one of the reasons I liked him. Yeah,
that's why you liked him.
I like.
Hey! Not everybody from York is a fucking winner. Okay, you should know that because you're from York.
Oh my God.
County's losers.
Dude, this might make it worse.
Look,
it says he ducked
like,
votes on Megan's Law, which is a law about domestic abuse.
I know Megan's Law. That's where I found out the funny pictures of pedophiles.
Yeah, but dude, this fucker is like, he has that like these the allegations against him from his like ex-wife about abuse, and then he's like ducking votes on a law about abuse. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. You ever do that? Like, I used to get in trouble because I'd go into high school and I'd go and like print out pictures of the funny looking pedophiles on there, but they look fucking weird, man.
Scott Wagner, can you run Pennsylvania the way you run a garbage company?
Well, hey, so you can't spell domestic abuse without abuse. I mean, come on, let's be real here.
Oh God! Oh my God! This article says Scott Wagner is winning. Yeah, no, he's not.
But did you see that? Do you see that new ad I saw like on the billboard? It was like, "Don't blame me, I voted for Wagner."
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. There's signs like that all over the turnpike.
I haven't seen it. I saw on those
Why
digital.
would you spend money? Why would you spend money on that shit? You're not going to be You're not like the next governor's race isn't for fucking
2
years.
years.
Like what? Yeah, what are you doing?
I did see signs that said it's so weird. There's this one digital billboard when I drive to work that always has whatever like lefty pop icon died on there. Like they had the Black Panther dude, and I wish I got a picture of it. It literally said Wakanda forever on the fucking billboard. And then they had like RGB
Apparently
on there.
not. That's the fucked up casual.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, the name of the Whitfield report tonight was Bear is in, Ginsburg is out. So.
Not so notorious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see these Wagner billboards. Don't blame me. I voted for Wagner. Who? What are these for? Like, who's making these?
I don't know.
It's
Like
just
I like
odd.
the other ones. I think one of them replaced like the ban assault weapons billboard. Fuck that. It's nice to see that on the fucking turnpike.
Oh my god, this is a picture of Wagner shaking hands with Wolf. Unreal. Unreal.
God, I wonder if like Wolf like washes his hands after that because he's probably working the fucking trash truck. Like, to be fair though, like that dude did build like a fucking garbage empire like himself. Like I give him credit for that. Like no college degree or anything.
Well, have you seen Wolf's I think it's his like attorney general or VP.
Oh god, the fucking tranny.
No, that's the health person. I'm talking about.
Chris Chan, fucking health secretary.
No. Governor Wolf has this fucker. I think we mocked on this show. We mocked it, or maybe it was at the CR meetings. He has this fucker that's like his AG or his I'll know the name when I see. Oh, it's his lieutenant, John Fetterman. Google this guy. He looks like that. It looks like Wolf like dragged this dude off the jailhouse yard. He looks like a fucking like ape, like a fucking like ex-con. Like he's got tattoos. He never wears a suit. He always wears this like black like oversized shirt. And like when you see him next to Wolf, he like towers over him. Like you think he's like his bodyguard.
He looks like he looks like a closeted white supremacist that was like a leader of the prison
Like
gang.
a skinhead,
Oh,
yeah.
you know, I go right with the Democrats and their history with the KKK.
It would be appropriate. Like look at this dude. He looks like a fucking mobster.
He's like, I don't like blacks, Jews, Mexicans, and Arabs, but I love Pennsylvania.
Look at this picture of him next to Bernie. Dude, look at this guy. He's creepy as shit. And Wolf
Oh my
fucking picked
god,
him.
yeah. Yikes. Like,
Optics check.
Jesus.
Oh my. Oh, well, look at his
No,
family.
look. Hey, look, Governor Wolf, he was trying to get the white supremacist vote. So, well, hey, like, look, it's good. He's kind of looks like a,
He's got a diverse base.
He wanted to go and stop the school to
He
prison
looks like
pipeline, so
he looks like he could have been an American History X. I mean, come on now.
Or American Horror Show. What were you saying, Alex?
he wanted to, maybe Governor Wolf wanted to go and stop the school to prison pipeline, so he did the prison to politics pipeline.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Employing fucking ex-cons into his administration.
I have to say, though, his wife is hot as shit.
Dude, I bet, yeah.
I mean, that's
fucking
not
man. Like, you can probably do some sexy things.
Like, I'm just saying, like, when you look at him and you look at her, contrast is the word that comes to mind. I mean, she's solid. Like, I don't know how he ended up with her. Like, if it was like,
oh, it's probably at knife point.
Yeah.
How did you meet? At knife point.
You probably traded her for like a couple.
He's like, suck my dick or I'll fucking kill you, you bitch. Like, what the fuck?
And then she ended up liking it. And she's like, hey, maybe I'll stick around for some more. Or
I tolerate it because he's in a position of power,
Position of privilege.
She looks like a porn star. I'm sorry, but she no. Am I the one getting?
Dude.
Phil, you're a fellow dirty boy. Tell me.
Right. She looks like
Yeah, you've seen a few films.
looks like a yeah, she looks like one of those porn stars right before they start really turning the screws on the plastic surgery. Like, yeah, there it is. Right there, that first picture. Yeah, that's like a before and after picture from what a porn star, right?
Oscars?
Like ever see the porn star like right when they first like do first
Before
get
and
into
after,
business,
before
first
porn,
get into
after porn.
business?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Day.
Oh my
this is the
God.
first day on the
That is
job.
that is such a before and after fucking porn star thing.
Yeah, look at the shirt she's wearing. She's got this like cleavage hanging out. And then what the fuck is this headdress
Fucking
thing?
Snooki, man.
What is that?
She looks like fucking Snooki. Jersey.
Yeah, it looks like
She does. She's a better looking, semi-classier Snooki.
Again, same difference though. I mean, you know.
Oh god. Yeah, like what is this? Oh my god. Look at that. Whoa,
Yeah,
she's
you look-
gained some. Look at
But
this.
let's be real. Like, look at that second picture where she looks all shot out. This dude with his fucking members only coat, he just looks like he just buried his ex-wife in his backyard before fucking. All right, here we go.
And then he found this new one on OnlyFans.
Oh god.
Whoa, this is her with Anthony Bourdain. What in the world?
I think that's why he killed himself.
Yeah, 'cause he couldn't get a piece of that ass.
I don't know, maybe me and Moffrey couldn't refuse.
Yikes.
Dude, like this is Fetterman guy though. Like, what? And like,
that's-
where did Wolf
he's
dig up this
He's
fossil?
just scary looking.
He is scary looking, dude. I
He is
mean, shit.
Scary looking. That is some.
He's our
I
lieutenant governor.
I feel bad for his like daughter's future boyfriends. Like if I saw that shit, I'd fucking run.
Yeah, I'd be like, no,
Nope,
she's-
we ain't
she's-
having sex.
she's gonna die a virgin. She's gonna die. Like, yeah, boyfriend's gonna come to the house. Like, oh fuck no.
As Dora looks like, you know, she got her mom's genes, so it's not like she's gonna be an ugly, like, you know, teenager or something. Like, she's gonna be hot, and the boys are gonna be all over her, and then they're gonna
Dude,
see the dad, and they're gonna like scatter.
With her ducking her head, looks like she's like scared. Yeah, it's like, don't beat me again, daddy.
Yeah.
I love how the kids, there's like two brown hair, and there's like this one blonde hair, blue eye, like based Aryan here. Like, what's going on here?
I
That's the dude's probably like, hey, you better smile, you little bitch, or I'm gonna burn you with my cigarette.
You probably adopted that one.
I love this. I love the psycho mischievous look on his face. Like
Like he's trying. It's like he's trying to fake a smile or something. Like,
He's
I
got.
don't want to smile, but fuck it.
I mean, when you're lieutenant governor, you gotta look, you know, the part.
Dude, his face just looks so empty. Like I think he needs a like a teardrop under his eye. You know.
Yeah, dry eyes.
He's missing a swastika on his forehead.
He's got like a whole big old canvas over there.
Oh, he's already got the Aryan kid going, you know. Just put the Charlie Manson look on
It's
you.
like,
He does look like Charlie Manson, dude. Look at it, the complexions, the fucking like facial
look
hair.
at the arm tattoo and shit. What the fuck, man?
Governor
Dude,
Wolf's
you got
running
it.
mate is
You
Charles
got it.
Manson.
dude, he looks like an evil version of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
He looks no. I think the Charles Manson one's the closest.
Yeah.
I mean, look
Yeah,
at this.
I think-
Like that should be the. You want to have like a good smear campaign. Put billboards of this fucker next to Charles Manson and be like, spot the difference. What's missing? Who wore better? Jesus Christ! Like I wonder if this he's got to have some like drug connections or some kingpin shit. Like I mean, this isn't normal.
Maybe that's why like Wolf is pushing to legalize fucking marijuana.
Yeah, no, it is actually. That was just this dude's thing. I'm not even making it up.
Why?
Yeah, it's good for his business.
Actually, be bad for his business.
No. Because if it's illegal and the government's taxing it, it's more expensive. Yeah, the black market option is cheaper. Look at this fucking picture though.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that last picture. That's like, look, I tried. I tried to get rid of all the blacks, Jews, and Mexicans, but here we are.
6 million short. I mean, what are you gonna
Jesus.
do?
I mean, what are you gonna do?
Oh god. He's like, I tried to finish the job Hitler started.
Someone go and search. Like, he's got to be like either like a ex-bouncer, ex-con, or something.
Or a bounty hunter.
Jeez, yeah, hear me.
He's the type of guy. He's like the Kylo. I was gonna make a Kylo Ren joke earlier, and I forget who. Oh, it was for Jeb. Like Jeb's like the Kylo Ren. Like, I will finish what you have started. That's what this guy is. So like, he has like a Hitler like fucking like he's got like Mein Kampf, and he looks and goes, I will finish what you have started. And then he's like, I'm gonna be Lieutenant Governor of Pennsylvania. And then now he's in the classroom talking to kids. Man, the people infiltrating. Wolf is secretly a cryptic, you know, like a, I don't know, like you said, the pipeline between the prison and politics. Oh man.
It looks like the one with his the other one going back to the one with his kids or whatever.
No.
Can
we not go back to that?
The dyed blonde hair, like, look, I try to dye my kid's hair blonde so he'd look more Aryan. I mean, holy shit.
What more can you want?
I mean, I'm trying here. Fuck, man.
Let's see. He was born. Oh, okay, it makes sense now. Born in Reading Hospital in West Reading, PA.
Oh fuck, man. Yeah, he was born into a hardened criminal lifestyle. If you're born in Reading, holy fuck.
Described his parents as having started out, quote, extremely poor, with both being teenagers at the time of his birth.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah,
fucking Juno here.
Yeah, that happens a lot in Reading.
However, they eventually moved to York, Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah. Shit. More like a York person.
One drug dump to another. Holy fuck.
It didn't exactly move to like Holland Heights here, you know.
Shit.
The streets didn't get paved with gold, you know. It's
not exactly the Jeffersons kind of move here.
The Jeffersons.
Whoa, moving on up.
Oh god. It says where John grew up, and his father achieved success as an insurance business owner. So he was like a fucking, probably like an ambulance chaser. You know?
Oh yeah.
Starting lightning here and there. Describe his
Sign this fucking policy or I'll kill you. I will murder your family if you don't sign this fucking sheet.
It's probably like the Saul Goodman.
Amish Mafia's enforcer.
Yes. He described his upbringing as middle class and, quote, privileged. You couldn't tell from looking at him, saying he sleepwalked through his young adulthood, avidly playing 4 years of football in college and intending to eventually take over as owner of his father's business. Graduated from Albright College, his father's alma mater, and was on his way to earning a master's of business administration from the University of Connecticut. However, his life took a drastic change after his friend died in a car accident on his way to drive Fetterman from the gym. What the fuck does that have to do with getting your MBA?
I don't know, man. Maybe
dude, that's some bullshit.
John Wick story. He wants to run.
Yeah. It literally was like, oh, he was gonna get his MBA, but his friend died in a car crash. Take him home from the gym. What the fuck does that have to do with your MBA? Did he literally just quit college because his friend was gonna pick him up from the gym and he died? Yes, that's sad, tragic, and would traumatize me, but that doesn't make you stop getting your fucking MBA.
Maybe he wanted to get revenge instead.
It says, following his friend's death, Fetterman joined Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. Oh, he's a big brother, all right. Pairing with an 8-year-old boy, oh god, that sounds creepy, in New Haven, Connecticut, whose father had died from AIDS and whose mother was battling the disease. During his time as a big brother, Fetterman says he became preoccupied with the concept of the random lottery of birth and promised the boy's mother he would continue to look after his son. Afterwards, in 1995, he joined the and joined the recently founded AmeriCorps and set to teach Pittsburgh students pursuing their GEDs. For 2 years, he worked in Pittsburgh for attending Harvard University's Kennedy School of Government. Graduated in 1999 with a Master of Public Policy. How the fuck did this guy get into Harvard?
Probably like forced his way in. Like if he walked into Harvard, you're gonna stop him.
I don't think any of those soy boys there could. I mean, like, do you see this like rabbit hole he like climbed through? MBA in Albright College, nope. MBA in University of Connecticut, nope. Harvard, yes.
Jesus. Yeah, I'm sure. Like, there's no way he didn't like work as a bouncer at some point in his life, or like some other sort of like hard knock shit.
After living in Braddock for 4 years, attracted by what he called the town's malignant beauty, Fetterman ran against the incumbent mayor in 2005 and won by a single vote.
He probably went to that person who was like, "You gonna vote for me, buddy? Or you gonna vote for this guy?"
Or else.
Yeah, just by looking at him.
This is poorly worded. Fetterman established a strong relationship with the 16 to 24-year-old population.
I bet he did. I bet he established a fucking relationship with those people because who are they gonna do stuff?
Oh god, this dude's funny. Let's see. He purchased a church before demolition for $50,000. He had 2 shipping containers for extra living space. He was living in a shipping container.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh god, so funny. Oh god. He has since purchased and renovated many additional houses and for a cheap or even free rent. He has attracted many young artists to the town through cheap rent, starting various art exhibitions. The town's renaissance has been attributed. Oh, he's a renaissance man, guys. Do you look at him and think he's a renaissance? His commitment to the community of Braddock is shown in his various tattoos. On his left arm are the numbers 15104, Braddock's zip code. And on the right, the dates of, oh god, 5 murderers that occupy the town since he was elected mayor.
That's weird. Like, did he know those people in prison?
He probably got to know. Maybe he was in the same gang. He's got gang tattoos. So he has a tattoo of the town's zip code and a tattoo of the town's 5 murderers.
Who does that? That's so fucking, like, unprofessional.
That's fucked up is what it is. Is that supposed to be like a low murder number, like 5? So, like, he put the murders on there? Like, why would you put their names? That's just, like, weird. Like, yeah, I have this, like, child murderer tattooed to me. Like, yeah, it's totally cool. That's normal. Oh, God. I want to find... There's got to be more to this. Like, how do you get to that place? Oh, he tried to run for Senate and lost by a lot, apparently.
It's harder to intimidate that many people.
4%, and then he ran as lieutenant governor. I did pretty decent. He got 38% of the vote, but he won. Amazing.
Wait, he won 38%.
What was that?
Well, you said he won at 38% of the vote.
Yes. The runner-up had 23%.
Oh, jeez.
Personal life. Fetterman lives in a converted car dealership with his wife and 3 kids. A converted car dealership. What is this ghetto shit?
Have any of you guys seen The Sopranos? That's like this is turning into
Dude, if he gave me Sopranos vibes, like I was even gonna say his wife looks like the wife of Tony Soprano if it was like a immigrant or like a blonde or non-blonde. I mean, because Tony's was blonde.
Yeah, Carmelo was a blonde, but yeah, no, seriously, and this guy as a teacher, like,
Oof.
I don't know you guys, but he does not seem like like I would not want to take his courses just because he seems like the type of teacher who would beat the shit out of me, literally.
I found his zip code tattoo.
What the
God, that's so. He looks like a fucking caveman.
He
He looks like
does.
fucking Fred Flintstone.
He's Fred Flintstone.
He looks like he looks like a bassist for a failed fucking metal band or some shit.
He does. Is it like the 1488 tattoo? He has like 151.
Guys, don't you go and Photoshop that like they did with like the Ben Harrison shit.
I'm a former bassist for the Devil's Taint. Like, what the fuck is that even a band? Like,
I can see that. Like you see him drinking all these like hipster beers. Like, he seems like
He
that
does
type.
have
Like,
semi-hipster vibes.
Like he probably looks all badass when he doesn't do shit. Like he's like, oh, like my soy latte.
Yo, he's got some like Islamic, I think, or Jewish tattoos. What is this? Look at this one.
Oh boy, where's? Yeah, I think that's Jewish.
Yeah, that looks Jewish. Oy
He probably
vey.
like held a rabbi at knife point. He's like, give me some good luck, bitch. Don't make you drop the soap.
Oh, yo, I think I found like like a fucking yearbook photo of this dude. Let's look at this one.
And go Kavanaugh, look at his yearbook photos. Yeah, holy shit! Like,
Got the fonts here. Unconventional in size and rise. Yeah, you got that right, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Got the fucking fonts here.
I wonder if he's done steroids. Like,
Yeah,
looks
he's
like,
into like recreational marijuana shit.
oh god. And next thing's be like recreational meth.
He goes libertarian. Wait, so those the 5 murders? That's 5 lines. Why would he write the 5 murderers' names in like fucking like Torah speak?
I thought that's like 9.
No, it's 5 murderers. Oh shit, there are 9 lines. Oh, and this other photo looks like 5.
What the fuck? Like, see, I don't know, man. If there's a tattoo, it's like not gonna be some stupid shit like a zip code.
Up. I got a very exclusive, rare image of John Fetterman here flashing the white power.
there you go.
Yeah, you probably can't help it.
I can't control, guys. Just comes out of me. Oh, I got a second picture. He's just flashing it again. White power fist. See, this looks more like his natural setting here. Fucking like hipster bar restaurant. Like, that looks like he does look like a waiter, or like a bartender.
Yeah, I'm about to say I don't think waiter. No,
Bartender. Oh
bartender maybe at like a fucking like hole in the wall or like a real hipster joint.
Dude, I found his Sopranos photo shoot.
Oh god.
He's got
It kind of reminds me of that one dude from what was it, Pawn Stars, the like kind of retarded guy.
Chumley.
Yeah, he kind of looks like him, but like more intimidating.
Dude, this is like his fucking Soprano photo shoot. He's got like the rough streets in the back, in the city, and then he's got this like jacket on. He's all rough looking.
Has like a fucking rifle under that jacket.
His hands in his pockets. Probably got like a fucking like mini revolver in there.
Oh god.
Oh, dude, here you go. Here you go. And they have their masks on, but look at this shit.
God, that's so fucking stupid.
He put it on his Twitter too.
I don't know. Like, see, that's one thing. I brought that up before. Like, man, I don't know, man. I think it's gonna happen in the next 5 years.
I kind of think so. It's gonna happen eventually.
I think that's been fucking that battle's you ain't getting nowhere with that.
Yo, what the fuck happened to his hand?
Oh god, what happened to it? Which one.
It's the way I think the picture's taken or the screenshot from the video, but like, what the fuck?
Maybe he got into a fist fight.
He hugged Bernie. Wow.
Yeah, Bernie was probably like, oh no.
Probably got scared.
All right. Any other important news?
This was important.
Oh, any other news?
He was on Colbert. No, I'm saying what I meant was like, since you said, is there any other important news? I'm like, it almost implied that what we're doing right now was important.
Oh my god, dude, look at his fucking finger, man. Like I see what you're talking about. It looks like he's like an assassin or something. You know,
He's like, no, that is literally John Wick. Like in the third one, John Wick like loses a part of his finger. This dude's trying to be John Wick here. John Wick 3.
Like, I was thinking, like, you know, in the older Assassin's Creed where they had to chop off the finger to put the you know, assassin blade in there.
Oh my god.
Assassin's Creed with the fucking hidden blade. This is what it looks like. It's what the modern day assassin.
Oh, somebody made a great caricature of him. Here you go. Here you go. Check this shit out.
Like, his eyes look so gay in that.
This dude's a fucking like.
It just looks too realistic, I think, for that caricature.
I just want to know how he ended up with that. No way, dude. No way.
Porn star or was a porn star.
No. It's better. It's better. It's better. Read the headline.
That is adoptive daughter.
It says once undocumented immigrant.
Oh, I wonder who smuggled her.
She's like a fucking bride order. Oh my god, that's amazing. I mean, look, hey, if that's what illegal immigrants look like, open borders, baby. Let's go.
He really smuggled her in himself. That's probably how he got her, because it's like, hey, you want to get a green card marriage?
I'll show you how you can get a green card. Bend over, and I'll show you.
Green card stayed for the power.
What was that?
Came for the green card, stayed for the power.
Yes. Oh my god. That's amazing. And then there were two.
Alright, man. Want anything else?
He looks like a construction worker.
See, I could see him working at Penn Waste more than I could see the other guy.
Wow. I didn't realize it's almost 3:30. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
We were going tonight.
Alright, man.
I guess we should shut her down.
Yeah, that's what chat's been saying.
Tyler said, laugh my ass off, go to sleep already. No, you. I say I never read it whenever she comments, and it's like...
Oh man, we need to do a better job of like keeping track of that chat. Like sometimes, you know, doesn't happen.
I know. The problem is like when I keep it open on my laptop screen so that I can do two screens at once, but like I always forget to reopen it is what usually happens.
See, man, I'm telling you, man, invest in that gamer computer. Buy two monitors.
I have two monitors.
Chat. Well, put the fucking chat in one of them.
I did, but like I was checking I was posting stuff in the Discord, so it like I forgot about it because it went behind that.
There's a way. I don't know, man. Let's kill this stream.
We will. We're gonna do that now. Thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe, like, share, all that shit, and wash your hands.
Take it easy, folks.